Hi guys, I'm Jeff.
Oh, hello. I'm Ross, and I love 3D printers.
This is going to be the second week on the trot where I'm just going to go, hello, and I'm Patrick.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're not French anymore?
No, I'm not French or dead inside, whatever I said last week.
You've
I'm
finished
just back to
watching.
being Northern and English.
You finished watching Emily in Paris, then?
No, I haven't. We're on.
I thought you had to be Patrice till you finished.
We're in season 3. Yeah, we're in season 3.
I
The
haven't
chef's
started
getting
it.
progressively worse hair.
See, I'm feeling very Northern English at the moment because my main TV watching at the moment is Brassic. So I'm very.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, Brassic! It's about somewhere in, I think it's Yorkshire, bunch of just guys who are growing marijuana and stealing cars and all the rest of it, but they're really likable, you know.
Well,
You know, and they like robbing sheep and Shetland ponies and God knows what else. But it's like, you know, haphazard lunatics, you know. But it's really entertaining. Oh, what are you watching? Anything good?
Suits.
Suits?
Again.
I've never watched Suits.
Again?
Right, as probably the 5th time through.
Really?
Yeah, it's just noise on in the background.
Yeah.
So because I'm like there in my office alone all day, I just need something. I don't want to concentrate.
Yeah.
But I need human interaction.
I call it my emotional support TV show.
Yes.
And there may as well be audio dramas because I'll be painting or doing something.
Yeah.
I just need something on in the background.
In the January, when everybody's at their most fed up, and I've done this will be year 3 now, as soon as I get back to work after Christmas, I start Taskmaster from the beginning.
Really?
And then it means that by the time I get to the end each year I do it, I get 2 more series.
Oh,
I feel like that's got worse. Like the earlier seasons, 2 and 3. What was the one with Phil Wang on?
Phil Wang was quite late. I think Phil Wang was about 7 or something.
Yeah, 6 or 7 or something. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, blimey.
But I think the problem being is there's only so many comedians, isn't he?
Yes, this most recent series, the only person that I was aware of was Jack D.
I haven't
else.
started watching it yet. I think I'm going to collect them up and binge it a little
I've
bit.
only seen one episode so far. I think there's only been 2.
It's a great way to get introduced to comedians you would like. I'd never heard of James Acaster before that.
Yeah.
And I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
And then there's the guy from, I forget the show. He's not really a comedian. They were a bunch of mates. And there's a show about this like group of like mates who are into music and stuff, and it's like people just say about nothing, or people
do nothing.
People do nothing, or people do just nothing.
And it's the Asian guy.
The Asian guy, what is his name? But yeah, fantastic, and he's brilliant. He's so funny.
Yeah,
but they were never actors. They were never.
Greg Davies, I want to have your babies.
Yeah.
When he made that rap.
they were brilliant. So yeah, so those earlier seasons. What was the one where they got? Was it Josh
Whitcomb.
Season 1. That was brilliant. Where they were like, where they got him to do like loads of things on his own. I don't want to spoil it, but this is season 1.
And he was the only one doing them.
Yeah, and it's like, right, how many beans? Before the advert, it's like, how many beans in this tin? And he pours it out and he counts them all.
And
through.
it goes, it'd be impossible to find out. Wouldn't it, Josh? And then he realised it's only him doing it.
They just make it come back after the adverts, and you're like, am I the only one who did that?
Yeah.
Those are great. Yeah, so more of that.
And I think it'll be an ongoing thing for a little while. Still playing Space Marine 2?
I'm still playing it. I'm still on the 3rd area. I've got like what would be the equivalent of 1 loading screen further. There's right towards the end, you go to the 3rd place.
Yeah.
And then you kind of start with a jump pack sequence, and then you haven't got jump packs because you've done that bit. And then I've just got into the next bit, which is some tunnels.
Oh, I'm still miles behind. But I have found a new name for it now. I don't call it Space Marine 2 anymore. I call it the most violent lift attendant in the galaxy.
Yes.
There is so many elevators.
So
The
many
most
lifts.
violent man who can open a door.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been out for a few weeks now. I think like it does get quite repetitive, doesn't it? You're just like stab, boop, 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 which is great.
It's like the most violent actions to then do the most sedate solution. Isn't it?
He's
Brother, the power is out. Rah! Boop.
Yeah.
You know what? Right, you need to get on that. That's a short that'll get watched. It's just literally. So hello, Bella.
Hello, Belle.
Welcome.
Be quick hello.
There you go.
Hello,
Sorry,
Belle.
and Bella's also here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just do a short where it's just like hard metal music, thrashing, blah, 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 and then lift music as you type it in. Lift. Hard metal music, lift music. That's a short.
What's that? So I never remember what that one. It's the girl from somewhere.
Yeah. Just do that one after the other. Then at the end, Space Marine 2 reviewed. Tick.
Yeah. Just have him go to like a console, an open task manager.
Yeah.
And force quit. Force quit the reactor. Great, you've stopped it. Perfect.
Oh, it's so good. It is good. It is like I do enjoy it. I still maintain that it's a good video game. It's better than okay.
Yes, I wouldn't if we were rating it in terms of Ofsted. Christ, this is going to be the third week we talked about it, but
but it's that
good.
It will be.
We'll keep talking about it.
And we're going to talk about it next week as well for reasons we'll reveal later in this episode.
If Ofsted were they're moving away from single words, sort of reviews, aren't they? But yeah, it would be good. Warhammer game, great, outstanding. It's brilliant. But I feel like the more I play it, the more I wish it was Gears of War. Gears of War, you go, oh, I really wish we could do that, and then you do it later in the game. Every the mission, the campaign, and again, as I said last week, I want to play it with real people, and just yell "brother" whilst running around a lot. And I think that would give me the most enjoyment. But currently, I don't.
Was
have
that foreshadowing? Was that?
Would have been foreshadowing as well.
Yeah.
Just got to keep doing that now.
Yeah. So I just wish. So when you see the cool dreadnought. No, can't talk about that because you guys are so fucking slow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Have kids, then tell me about.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how some bits could potentially be improved, but I can't with you guys.
We should be there by about November.
In true painting phase fashion, we'll be the last people to talk about it.
Probably.
So in 2 months,
Valrak's still talking about it. And the difference there, brilliant. Bless him, is I love Valrak, I really do. But bless him. And unlike us, he's still talking about it. And he's talking about it every day.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's getting new development rumors and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, is it? Oh, brilliant.
Oh, yeah. He's got his finger on this pulse as well. He has that, man.
Out. Well, to be fair, I mean, that I think is quite a big, in the YouTube game, there's the Warhammer space where people are big in the Warhammer space, and you've got your hard hitters like Squidmar and people like that. But then you go into the video game space and it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe that's an angle he's playing. What you got?
Oh,
okay. Props. Secret
no,
props.
No, nothing. I was sorry. I was just sat here and I was like, why am I really hungry? I was like, I forgot to eat my breakfast. But I got a croissant, so I'm just gonna.
You got a croissant, and you didn't introduce yourself as Patrice. Left the side down.
No, you've got
a Bella on you.
Look at the trail on that.
All I've had all morning's a shredded wheat. So
just one.
No, right. Everyone does this. Shredded wheat and shreddies are not the same thing.
They're not,
no. So every time my wife's like, "Would you like anything?"
You're hardcore. Did you just eat it raw?
No, I'm not. I'm not mad. No, just with water. But no, my wife's like, "Oh, would you like me to get you some shreddies?" No.
I'd like you to get me some
shredded wheat, please. So I'll eat shredded, but yeah, shredded wheat's my favourite. So you've got Valrak still playing it. It's good. We're gonna get there. Thanks for spoiling. There's a dreadnought in it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just about to get there because I'm going through tunnels, and from what I've seen online, it is in tunnels where that happens. But yesterday or this morning, I can't remember because my doom scrolling's merged into one. Because I normally fall asleep doom scroll and then wake up and go, I'll doom scroll for a bit. And then this morning the cameo of a board game and lore character got spoiled for me. So I was like, and I think it was the one you were alluding to last week. In fact, I'm pretty confident it is now. So I'm like, So one more. I'll have it finished by next week, and I'll have played something that not many people in the world. So Valrak can do his thing. Valrak, you can do your thing, but we're going to have played Space Marine in a way You probably haven't, maybe not.
We're special.
Yeah.
Um,
So stick with us for the latest Space Marine news. That's my vape in my pocket.
I like the way you lost confidence.
So
Space Marine
Ross,
news stuff.
We're playing VR Space Marine.
Yes, that's
in,
what we're
Zero
doing.
Latency, which should be really good fun.
Being some of the first to have had a go at VR Space Marine.
We are.
We're going to get an early preview of it. We've got an 8-man team together of varying sizes and ages.
Sizes definitely. There's a couple of that are. I wonder if it'll do that in game. That'll be interesting. To be like when you're in game, like are you and Taro going to be like up here and
And my son.
Is it automatic? Is it And then is Pat and your son going to automatically be put in Reaver armor?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We'll be firstborn.
That's
Well, no, it's interesting because when you just it's you may well have seen it on like Facebook adverts and stuff. If you play Warhammer, it seems like they're hitting the marketing pretty hard. But it's like the like a free roaming VR game, which like I played the zombies there quite a few times, and that's always really good fun. So you get a gun, you get your goggles, and you charge around a room, having the time of your life.
But you actually get to move. I think that's the difference. Is and I'm excited for it. I'm super excited for it because I've loved the video game. But so next week. So by the time you're watching this, will have been, and then me and you are then off somewhere, and then Pat can then edit that video that we're filming this Thursday, and you all get to see what it's like playing Space Marine in VR, which I think is going to be fucking awesome.
Can't wait.
But the best thing about the VR is that it's not like everyone's tried VR, haven't they? They're like, oh, Beat Saber, I'm stood in my front room and I've got 2 waggly ones. Whereas this, you actually get to hold a replica weapon with what looks like a PlayStation Move controller attached to the front, or
it's got dots on it so it can track it.
Yeah, that's it. So
it's really weird when you go in, isn't it? Because when you go in and then you go into like the grid, before it loads the environment up of what you're playing in. You end up like in like a VR grid while you're in like a holding bit. But then the really weird bit is obviously it tracks and acknowledges the gun.
Yep.
And then the person who isn't wearing a VR suit, who kits you up and brings you your gun over. So a gun just floats its way across the room to you.
Really?
And you end up on the
Brilliant.
screen. And I've done it about 3 or 4 times now, and the floating gun never gets less weird. Because they just go, and there you go.
Oh, I've never done it that way.
So,
we had our gun, but they've changed the pack since our last went. So
apparently
been
one's got a lot
upgraded.
smaller now,
Yes,
hasn't it?
yeah, it has.
Because last time I went, it was like I was kitting up to actually go back into combat.
Yeah,
and it was like, I thought, I'm wearing a lot of gear.
The first time I went, like you literally had a computer on your back.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't anymore. So
Oh, that's right. I haven't been
cool.
since.
It's a lot more like lightweight, and you just have the goggles and a gun.
That's good. Yeah, we were, because me and my wife did the zombies, and again, it's brilliant. You go in there, you put it on your head, and then within minutes, like as it's loading you in, it proper is like VR. It's like the dream of VR that we wished for in the 90s, isn't it? Because you like put it on your head and you're in a physical space, but then you're actually moving in physical space as well. So as you move, it moves. But like you'll be walking in a straight line down a room, but it's ever so slightly shifting. So you're actually like walking in a circle. You don't realise you're walking in a circle because it messes with your head. And by the time you get to this corridor that's twice as long as the room you're in, you've actually lapped the place, but you don't realise you've done that. You've just, it's
Have
crazy.
you done the one that always made me feel weird? Have you done the one where you're fighting the robots that have attacked the spaceship?
No.
Well, there's a bit in that where the the internal design of the spaceship does, if you imagine it was a real, you're walking along and then it'll go grab boots activated, and then it does that.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Oh, God.
And then you do that when you get to the top, and it's really weird because when you do it, it goes gravity boots activated, and then you carry on walking, and then the next thing you're doing,
like
what would be
leaning
that?
backwards.
It is weird because you are finding yourself.
It must be the funniest thing. Like I would love to be that, well, as I guess I will be on Thursday, there with a camera, like filming people, like filming people in VR, just like having the time of their lives, and then the reality of it is just so much more sad.
Well, it's quite funny because when Haley, my other half, filmed me and my eldest son doing it, and because with my albeit very leftover muscle memory from being in the military, because it was an internal situation. I was more hunkered down and was moving sort of with minimal movement while trying to move all at the same time. So you sort of walk from the knee downwards, and I'm sort of moving around, and I know to keep my end of my weapon on my head always going in the same direction. And then when we came out, my wife went, "Why were you showing off and ninjaing about?" I went, "Who can I show off to? No one can see me. No one can see me." I said, "It's just leftover knowledge."
Yeah, to be fair, like if you've been trained that way,
Yeah,
you're not gonna...
and she's like, "No, I just looked at you trying to be clever and ninjaing about." I'm like, "No, it wasn't. It's not intentional." But the thing is, you don't need to do that when you do Space Marine, because you should actually just be being extraordinarily upright, not having to hunker down into. I'm actually just shooting a gun one-handed, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
While shouting.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Like, I just
Brother.
It's going to be a lot of brother. Like, we should refer to each other as brother the entire time.
Yeah.
So just brother this, brother that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it. The best bit was, I don't know if you played, because they've had 2 zombie ones, and I haven't played the new one. But they had this zombie one, and at one point...
I played one where you were on a construction site. That's the one I've played.
It sounds maybe right, and then at the end...
You have to go up in a lift.
I don't know, but the one I played, you start in a room, and like there's a zombie at the other side of a barrier, and it ramps up, so it's like, right, shoot him, he's not coming towards you. Then it's tight corridors, then it opens up wider and wider and wider. But there's one bit where you're on the side of a building, and you have to walk up this gantry. Now, in the room you're in, it's just a flat... Like the room in Nottingham, I don't know if it's different in the other ones, but it's just a massive room.
Yeah, it's about four squash courts, maybe 5.
Yeah, something like that, with a big pillar in the middle, just to hold up the Victoria Centre, I'm guessing. But yeah, and you run around that. But there's one bit in it where you go up an elevation. So, of course, you're walking on a flat ground, but you're going higher. So you've got to just walk forward and tell your brain you're just going to go up.
Yeah.
But you don't. You lift your foot higher, and you sat there going like,
it's quite
I'd
funny
love to see.
because you look down and you can't see your feet.
No.
You can see the other models. The funniest thing is, like, because you have to put your height in.
Yes.
Because if I was like 7 foot tall, I imagine like, well, I'm like 5'6", and then, but if I said I'm 6'6", and I was an extra foot higher, like, I wonder what I might do that next time. Say I'm really tall.
Do you know the one on that spaceship one? It had like, like the old traditional sci-fi doors. You know? And it had like what was meant to probably be like the locking mechanism, which wouldn't have been a good idea on a real spaceship, but the locking mechanism is at the bottom. And I remember walking forward to go through that door and stepped over it. And my brain, and I immediately told myself off, because you're like, you can't trip on it. It's not there, but you realise how much your brain relies on visual information. And there's another bit where there's been an explosion on the spaceship. So you walk across what is like a gangway, because that's all that's left. And you are a bit like, oh, I'm going to fall off. And you're like, and what, fall off and what? you
do. Yeah. And it's weird. I think if anyone's... The best thing about it, like, if no one's tried... like a proper I think it's roaming VR, isn't it called, or something
like that.
If no one's tried a proper roaming VR, you've got to try this, because I've tried. Hello, Bella.
Hello, Bells.
You wanting a lot of love today.
I know, she's on one.
But yeah, like if you've tried any VR at home, like especially the moving ones, like unless it's point to point movement where it's like point there and shoot. If you're actually moving in the game, I get so sick so fast, because you obviously your brain and your not your brain, is it your ears, like for your balance? Your balance and your eyes are completely out of sync if you actually move it. If you're actually moving whilst you're sat still, doesn't work. Apparently it works if you're sat down and you're in a cockpit, because if you drive you're used to it, but anything else you just don't get the feeling, and that's why it makes you sick. So whereas this, because you're moving while you're moving, it's so comfortable. But when I went 20 minutes, I was sweating. My arms ached, everything.
It's quite funny. Like, I think I remember starting off, like, because I think so you can swap weapons and this, that, and the other. I think in the zombie one you get like an M16, pardon me, or an M4, like some kind of machine gun rifle thing, or a shotgun. And to begin with, I'm like holding it up and aiming down the sight. Yeah. And then I'm just, because you have your red laser dot thing, I'm just like, just shoot from the hip. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like
my
racking a shotgun and like blasting zombies in the face.
Oh, that's cool. Or like when you
quite
reload, you have to
therapeutic.
slap the bottom of the
So doing that
the
with
magazine.
Tyranids, will be wonderful. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Really
I don't know if
looking
there's
forward to it.
more. And if there is, maybe there is more, but we might, because we don't know what we can and can't talk about yet when we get there.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
it's the Defenders of Avarax, isn't it? And Avarax is like the second planet in the game that you go
is it?
to.
Okay, that's the more jungly one, isn't it?
No.
No, it's just the more industrial one.
Yeah, the industrial one, yeah.
I have clearly been paying attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that. So we're going to have fun, and we're going to share our fun thoughts with you in a coming episode.
Indeed.
Which should be out shortly, depending on when Pat edits it, because we're going away.
We are. Me and Ross, my travelling buddy, we're off to Spiel, Germany. We talked about it briefly last week. We'll be in Essen. Our man, as we refer to him, well, as I refer to him, our man in Japan, Sander, as Sander has been in touch and kindly done me a big old bag of new Painting Phase stickers.
Oh, brilliant.
And then loads of stickers for his own company, which is Scumbag Customs, which are really cool because they're all combat monkeys.
Fantastic.
Some of them are done as guardsmen with pistols, other ones are done as cultists with flamethrowers. And he's given me loads of stickers for him to give out as well. And if you are in the market for, let's say, decals that Games Workshop hasn't got round to, or custom ones,
just draw their attention to these ones. I don't think they're quite on.
No,
he's
your man he's your man to get in touch with, because he is an absolute expert when it comes to decals. So I'll be giving out some stickers to promote him and giving out some stickers to promote us. So if you see us and you're going to Essen, come and say hello and we'll give you a sticker.
And it will be on the Artist Opus booth.
We'll be on the Artist Opus booth.
Or wandering around. Or on lunch.
Yeah.
And just because we're on lunch doesn't mean people can't pop over and say hi. We love it. It makes us feel validated. Please come and say hi whenever.
Even if I've got a mouthful of food, come over and say hello. Come over.
That's it. We're not like, who is it? What's that film where he goes, it's Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah,
and
it's Bad Santa.
Like,
I'm on my lunch.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
No,
but yeah.
We're approachable all the time.
Yeah. I wish people wouldn't like just take GW-esque designs and rip them off.
I think it's awful when they do that. What have we been painting? We've all been painting.
Oh, we have.
That's it. What
I've painted.
Hobby. What have you been up to hobbying this week?
So
Ross.
I finally got round to starting my Votann. And I don't want to reveal it because I kind of wanted to get it done before I did it, but fuck it, I'm here. It's part of what I do. So I finally got round to it. And I'm not the only one to have done it, but I saw it when it first came out. Someone took the Leagues of Votann original model, changed all the colours, colour swapped them into the Lego Ice Planet colours. So I've been thinking ages, how can I approach this? And I just thought,
is that an astronaut set, is it?
Yeah.
It's like
so
a space set.
Is that an astronaut set? Right. In the comments, how dumb is the question that Jeff just asked?
Okay.
It is the space set, I would say. It is the space set. So much that, that Lego
Only by Star Wars,
thing,
like, not up on it.
But
When you say Lego Ice Planet, there's only one of them to me, and that's top.
This was Lego. I mean, this was Lego back when Lego was Lego. So Lego before all the IP, hey, we can make like Star Wars and Harry Potter and all that.
Yeah.
It was actually a kid's toy. And what
I remember
kids
them
would do,
days.
yeah, so kids would buy them, build the vehicles or variants of the vehicles, and then use them as a play set. But they could do. That's what Lego used to be.
Yeah, I remember when I started, I had 25 different versions of bricks.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you could and children could ask for it for birthdays and Christmas, or even for the small sets on a rare occasion, like you're out shopping and they've had, like, I don't know, good school results or something. It would be an affordable thing back then that you could buy for kids. Not anymore. So, but yeah, Lego Ice Planet was the one I got into. Loved it. The color scheme is like white because ice, blue because ice, black black ice, silver because ice is shiny, but then they also had this really vibrant translucent red for all the other ones that was like a gorgeous contrast.
Ice in a Nordic crime drama.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they had another one that came out, I don't know if it was before or after, but they had Blacktron that came out, which was basically the same, similar things again, but like everything was black and they had this vibrant green thing. But Ice Planet was the space Lego set that was worth everyone having, and I had everything in the collection bar two things. One of them was like a jewel pack where you got it with something else, and the other one was the base.
All right.
Like there was like a whole base you could do. I never had that, but I had the big spaceship that broke down into smaller. It was amazing. And I've painted my Votann in that style to do that. So I'll send you a photo, chuck it up on screen or don't. If not, it'll be on my Instagram by then.
Yeah, there we go.
Which you can find at Fohammer blog. Because
you are right though about the price of Lego. I was looking at the house from Home Alone.
Oh, right.
And even though it's only a Lego house, you still needed to take out an actual real world mortgage to be able to buy it. That's put a down payment down on it.
Yeah, like I'm visiting. Like I've got my oldest sister lives in Sri Lanka and she's got 3 little kids, and I'm like, oh, like one of them's into Lego, and I was looking at the price of like Lego Technic and stuff because he's like 10.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe I could get him something a bit more advanced. And Christ, like they get really expensive.
Even non-IP Lego now is cheap.
Yeah.
The bit that I find funny, I was talking about this the other day in the barbershop with one of my customers. Do you remember going back to the days you were talking about of small set Lego? Like if you bought, if you got off your parents a police car, a Lego police car, when you flipped the box over, it didn't always give you the instructions, but you could flip the box over and it'd go, here's the parts to turn that Lego police car into a Lego helicopter.
Yeah.
Or a Lego police boat.
You do still get some of them, yeah.
But most of the time now they've made it, I love the way like they've reinvented their own wheel, where they went, create a Lego, 3 kits in one. And you go, that just used to be Lego. Yeah. You flip the box over and there was 3 different, go, try and do this. And, you know, we're not going to give you, like you say, sometimes they did, but a lot of the times they didn't give you the instructions for it. They went, see if you can make that helicopter.
Yeah.
Unless there was only about 50 parts in the box, you could. But I love the way now they've also gone like, hey, look what we came up with. You go, that just used to be Lego. And then the thing in the movie, the Lego movie, you seen the Lego movie?
Yeah.
I love the way the villain is the dad because he wants to build what's on the box.
Yeah.
And because he's so into it being that thing, he wants to glue it together. And the plucky hero is like, I'm going to not let him have the
and just
glue
build anything
and
out
build
of anything.
I want.
Yeah.
But you realise that the Lego dad being Will Ferrell is just what Lego are now trying to get you to do anyway.
Yeah.
It's going, build it, never take it to pieces.
It's almost like the villain is capitalism.
But you're making him out to be the bad guy, but that's what you make with Star Wars and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Is like, build this enormous set, it costs you, don't never touch it. You can look at it by appointment, even though you live in the house that it's in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'll let you look at it for 2 minutes, don't touch it. But you're going, but that's what Lego are doing themselves anyway. Talking of that, though, I am still really looking forward to seeing Lego at Spiel.
Is there Lego?
Oh, yeah. Lego.
So we'll come on to Spiel. So Lego, 2 things. One, on the expensive. So for my 40th, my wife, bless her, bought me the one set I've always wanted my entire life. Can you guess? Come on, it's geeky. Really easy. Really simple.
It's got to be the Millennium Falcon.
It's the Millennium Falcon. Well done. Perfect.
But it's changed.
It's changed because the new version's got you can
interior.
Do well, no, there's some slight changes to that, but the new version you can build as new Millennium Falcon from the sequels.
Oh right.
Or
you
can
can
build
we're not talking about the mega collector's edition.
Yeah,
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you can do like square radar dish or circular,
Yes.
and you get 2 crews.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depending
so
on
it
the
was
era.
original trilogy or sequel trilogy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
obviously I'm building it as original.
When you said original, I was like, oh, you mean from Solo before the escape pod in the middle?
Oh
was
God, no!
jettisoned
Why
and
is it
that sort of
Solo?
stuff.
What's that?
I like Solo.
Shut up.
I've got a lot of time for Solo.
I knew there was a reason. didn't really take to you. There
I knew there
are
was a strange whiff about you.
There are people who just want to watch the world burn, and you're one of them. But yeah, so I've got that.
Chewbacca's never been better than in Solo. The best Chewbacca is version of Chewbacca.
Yeah.
I've watched it. Don't remember it.
I feel like as
Train Heist is
a
excellent.
film, it didn't have to exist, and it answered a lot of questions that I never asked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Where did the dice come from?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter,
and the reason the Millennium Falcon has a quirky computer is it because it used to literally be a quirky computer robot with legs. Anyway, who cared about robot slavery?
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah,
that's how much of an impact it had on me.
Yes, but I think it got a lot more hate than it deserved.
It just didn't need. It didn't need to exist.
Yeah, but you could say that about nearly any film.
Shit.
I suppose you can. Yeah,
I didn't need to exist, but here I am.
Fair point.
Right, what were we on about?
So I got that.
You've got the Ultimate Collector Series Lego
for my 40th, so you can justify the purchase when it's like big milestone birthday. Probably won't reach 50, so last chance.
Don't forget the AT-AT.
But yeah, I've been building that since February because it's like there are like 15 or 16 bags. It is hundreds of pieces, and the amount of free
thousands
time I have
of pieces. I would probably hazard to guess.
Yeah, and it's let's sit down and like and a bag takes 2 or 3 hours of an evening to go through and sort and find and do that.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what I hate with
them? I'm on bag 4.
Do you know what I hate with building Lego blindness? You know where you've emptied the bag and you go, they haven't put that red square, but like that. Wow, they literally missed. But there it is.
Yeah.
You have like 10-minute existential crisis that I'm gonna have to phone them up, get them to send that brick out. It's not there. Why? How could they miss it? And then you just go, oh yeah. I do that with every set. I've built 2 UCS sets. I've got the large size snow speeder.
Okay.
I was just looking at the prices of everything, and there is on Lego. I went sort highest first.
Yeah.
Because I thought it would be the Star Destroyer, but it's not. It's the AT-AT. I think
The
Star
AT-AT
Destroyer. The Star Destroyer is over $1,000, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know the AT-AT. I'm not doing AT-AT.
The Star Destroyer, as in the one they reference in Spider-Man, that is like, let me build our Lego.
No,
Death Star.
that's the Death Star.
What did I say? What were you saying? The Lego
Star Destroyer.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, of course. They're different words.
Yeah, they are different words. They sound similar.
Both got star in them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the AT-AT is about 750 quid. Isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and then
it is great though. I've seen it in the
like that. But I think the Star Destroyer is technically Lego Technic. But anyway, what I was laughing at was for £160 you can buy the Dark Falcon.
Yes.
What?
And it's got Jar Jar Binks with a double-bladed lightsaber.
Yes, it's a TV series.
What is this?
It's a TV series. It's
this is the
Rebuild the Galaxy or something it's called.
Right,
it's on
okay.
It's on Disney Plus. I seen my little one watching it the other day, and to be fair, he had headphones on, but he had the subtitles were up, and there was a couple of banging good Star Wars.
Is this like a
in it.
big? Is this like a Marvel What If but Star Wars?
Yeah, and Lego.
Right. And Lego. Like this is there you go. There's capitalism.
What it is
work.
it's Star Wars reversed.
Yeah.
So Darth Vader's a Jedi, but he's in white armor.
Right.
Jar Jar Binks is a baddie.
Jar Jar Binks. I still follow the theory that Jar Jar Binks was intended to be Darth Sidious. I still somebody have you seen that theory?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Many times? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was intentionally being stupid and throwing a spanner in the works on purpose.
Yeah. Well,
dismantle the Republic.
Yeah, the guy who's put the video together on YouTube is like, he wasn't being clumsy. He was doing like a version of Brazilian drunken fighting.
Oh yeah.
Is it Brazilian? But whatever.
Capoeira.
Is it? Yeah, like sort of like drunken dance fighting, and then the actors come out and said, "Oh, I'm glad people finally realise it." And then the end shot where it's got Anakin, Darth, Palpatine, and then Jar Jar stood next to it, and nobody noticed. And it's like that. I honestly maintain if that was intended, if George Lucas had gone that way, it'd have completely flipped it, and I'd have been like, well done. Because that's one thing that it was missing, is like you had that reveal of, Luke's his father. You didn't get anything like that. So at the end of the second prequel movie, they reveal that Sidious was actually Jar Jar Binks overall, and made you go and watch back and gone, so he's fighting. I think that'd have been brilliant.
Okay. So
what have you been finding that's been making you laugh?
So there's the Star Destroyer. Someone was trying to sell it for $1,000 on Amazon. It's been retired because you can't sell it anymore.
That's why.
But they did have the absolute, is it a Venator class one, or
what,
the massive
the
one?
The one that's Vader's in Empire.
Yes.
The one that other Star Destroyers can land on.
Yes.
The Executor.
Yeah. That exists in a Lego kit.
Yes.
In a kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes with small Star Destroyers that you can
small,
put,
right. I was going to say, it's not...
Yeah, no,
it's
no,
not
it's
the
not
size that can land on. I'm like, that's not a kit. Because I think I've looked at this and I think, is it the biggest Lego kit? The ones that are up there. I think the Millennium Falcon's kind of up there. The Titanic's there. But I think the biggest one is still the Eiffel Tower, which is like 3 or 4 foot tall.
Oh, right, okay.
So...
I've got to be honest, once I get outside of Star Wars, I'm not that well up on some of them.
I love it.
I know it was tiny pieces, but wasn't at one point in time, because all that was little pieces, but wasn't at one point in time the most actual biggest brick count was the Taj Mahal, I think.
Was it? Okay.
At one point in time, I think so. But I've built 2. I've got a large size, which is too big for the characters, which I don't like, but I understand it with this set. I've got the big Ultimate Collector Series Snowspeeder.
Nice.
Which is really cool. But I understand that you couldn't make it to fit you couldn't have it in that set if you made it to fit the actual figures, because a Snowspeeder is only about the size of an estate car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Realistically.
Oh,
so
right.
you couldn't do it at a really high spec level to fit the figures, so it ends up about that big. But it's a good old chunky set, it's about that big. And I've got the UCS Slave 1, which is the correct scale.
Brilliant. That's lovely.
Really good.
Yeah.
And I do like with that if you put Boba Fett in it and then you lift it into its actual correct flying position, there's a weighted system on his cockpit that moves him
into the other position.
Which is
that's really,
really
smart.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like. I want to bring this back around to Warhammer in a couple of ways. So one,
please do.
It's miniatures. It's fine.
Yeah.
Miniatures and plastic that all cost too much money. It's all the same thing.
So one of the bits I almost don't want to talk about because it's promoting naughtiness, but it exists, and it's not my job to fight that. So one of the things I love about Lego is Lego ID, Lego Creators, or Lego Creator Club, where you can go and submit designs. I thought about it earlier because people have submit Ice Planet 2, and it was amazing. And it got loads of votes, but they're like, we're just not doing it. We're not bringing back old legacy things or something. But that's how things like the DeLorean got started, or like the Friends set, and a lot of these. So Lego
ideas.
So Lego, like you kind of, this is the thing, like you justify a little bit the argument of, okay, well, Lego's expensive, but when you think about it, like, to be fair, they've got to hire a global staff of designers and creators to create that. They're literally getting their own community to design stuff now, and then people are going,
for it.
Yeah,
that's good.
Do they?
If they
I
win.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I imagine. Cool.
Yeah. But you are right, and the one that made me laugh about that is because I think sometimes a lot of the times when they are an ideas set, they will be somebody who's a fanboy of a particular license.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think when Lego go, no, I think what they're actually saying is we had to go, couldn't get the license. So sometimes it bounces. They've had to go, say they didn't, and they've
there'll be many reasons.
The one that I've got, and then you thought you did well out of that Lego, is I've got in a cool box with hazard stripes around the outside, is I've got the Lego Ideas Ghostbusters car with the 4 characters when it was a small size, and then that was a Lego Ideas set. They obviously got the license, and then the next thing Lego go, hey, we got the license because that guy put it. Hey, here's the fire station. Here's the all-female Lego Ghostbusters team.
yeah.
Here's their Ecto one, massive. And you go,
Yeah.
you did well there when someone decided that, and then you
Yeah.
go, oh, let's see if we get the license. Oh, we did. Like, make a fortune out of that now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, so it's quite interesting. Like the other one, which I really want, but I've nowhere for it, and it's a little bit more than I would like to spend, even though I'm an enormous fan.
Is it the one from Jaws?
It's Jaws, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a set?
Yeah, it comes as it's the ship. Well,
The Orca?
boat.
Is it
the
called?
boat,
Yeah.
or the Orca.
You're
And,
gonna need. He doesn't say you're gonna need a bigger ship.
No,
In fact, he
doesn't.
never says you're gonna need a bigger boat either, does he? That's a Mandela
No,
effect
it's
thing.
right. It's you're not
Where that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it comes with the shark, it comes with the crew, it comes with the boat, and it's really, really cool.
Is the shark
And that's
one
an
you
idea.
build, or is it
No,
one of,
you build
one of
it.
the plastic? Because there is a Lego shark.
Shark, yeah,
I
that,
might
yeah.
be thinking of a Duplo.
Yeah,
But,
no, I know the one you mean. No, you build the shark.
yeah, fair enough.
built
Duplo is Lego, isn't it? Yeah,
It is
same,
Lego, yeah.
It's that company, yeah.
It's the Lego that I can just put
Duplo
with.
Lego and Lego Technic. Yeah, it's the one. Yeah, it's the one made for your hands.
Yeah, but,
But yeah, the reason I was thinking of that for Warhammer is an idea sort of came, and it won't happen. But imagine if Warhammer did that. You know, and again, we've talked about 3D printing's a thing now, and people are out there making all of these not Warhammer things. But if they had like a Warhammer Creators Club, submit your ideas here. They'd literally, and they do the same thing. They'd literally have the community submitting things to them. Here's a design for such and such. Vote on them. The most popular ones, they can then look at making. It then goes to their studio to do it with their elements and their design principles, and then a model gets released based on popularity and what people love, and everyone could sit there salivating over. Blah, blah. Again, so,
but it would be
it
good
will
with,
never
because
happen.
if that happened with Games Workshop and you submitted the kit
Yeah,
and you submitted the kit bash and they liked it and went, we are going to turn that into a proper kit.
yeah.
They then go, here's your £20 voucher. Well done.
Yeah.
Not enough to buy the kit, but
Yeah.
no, but something like
It would be a lot harder to submit like a workshop like design or something, wouldn't it? Like
what, as a 3D model? Like you could put it.
like
I suppose. Yeah.
There's because like lots of these sort of Lego bits already exist, right? All these pieces
Yeah,
and all that sort of stuff.
like colouring them, so when you look at them, it's in
Yeah.
colour and blah blah. Whereas, if you did it as a 3D sculpt, it'd just be a grey sculpt at best, unless you digitally painted
you know
it.
what,
And then,
and just sort of like I feel like I'd have, and not saying that I'd be good at any level, but I'd certainly be better if someone said, make a crane out of Lego. It would look terrible, but I'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
But then if someone was like, sculpt a space marine, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
You know what
yeah,
I
maybe
do?
you are, but there are
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
out
there
there.
are people.
Again, it's probably a terrible idea. It's never going to happen. I'm trying to think of ways, because right now it's GW versus 3D printing. And 3D printing's getting faster. Like literally, there are printers now that are production quality out of the box. Yes, you've got to pay a lot more for them. It was the one I reviewed last week, and it is
Where did you review that?
on fohammer.com. No, on Fohammer, the YouTube channel. Great.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Thank you for allowing me a cross promo there. There's a link in the description. There always is. But yeah, like 3D printing is now at the point where, for £1,000, and it will cost £1,000, and you don't have to, but you pretty much have to buy their resin for the best results, which can be anything from £30 to £90 a bottle.
Ouch.
But the £90 for like castable resin that you
Right.
won't need, the £70 for like the really high detail, £30 resin, decent quality,
Yeah.
production quality miniature, at £30 or £35 a bottle, called Pass 10, and you drop it in and it's amazing out of the box. Just pop it off the supports. You might have some nubs to sand down, but most of the time, in fact, it's that ones that I brought them Orks in for. It's that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that like that is
Banging quality.
Yeah. And once you get a spray over that, it'd be high quality. So GW versus 3D printing. 3D printing's growing
Yeah.
at an alarming rate. So I'm just trying to think of ideas of a potential future where this is embraced by the brand we love. I don't know that it'll ever happen. GW is very like their plastic kits. I would still rather, even with that resin, I'd still rather build a plastic kit than a resin kit. I would.
Yeah.
and I don't think 3D printing's going to kill Games Workshop, as I've said many times, but it's going to destroy Forge World. It already is. You've got top influencers out there. We've talked about Blood Angels. You've got top people out there doing, we're going to paint a Blood Angels team using 3D printed parts, because even though the others are available, and I believe that person has access to them. In fact, I think I saw them at the weekend. No, it was the Dark Angels one. But that kit in the Blood Angels colour, in thingy, it was better with 3D printed parts.
Yeah.
Because there are a myriad options. So I want something. I would like to see a future where GW embrace this. And the longer they leave it, the harder the fight's going to be. And it means all customization. If they don't do it, it's a bigger fight in the future. Whereas why not have an app store? I don't get it. Why not have like a platform like Apple does, where upload your 3D prints to us, we'll approve them, people can buy them, only customizable parts. GW own an upgrade store where people submit things to them, approve them, they get the commission. Yes, people will steal them and share them, but at least you're getting a cut of something rather than this happening and you getting nothing for it. And the longer this goes, you can't fight it. I don't know. I want a future where this works together. So maybe the Lego ideas create a club. Something, please.
Right then. So what have you been painting?
Oh dear. Do you want where can I put this soapbox? Yeah. I forgot how long I went on there for.
All right.
I told you I was tired today.
It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know how it would work, because I feel like GW they would want to have control of everything.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they could, if they did introduce 3D printing, they'd put parts up. You might be able to get your Sanguinor wings.
Oh, can you imagine that?
And they might sell them as an extra or something if you wanted more of an upgrade. But then people would get annoyed because they're like, "Oh, you're making your base kits purposefully bland."
Yeah,
and then if I want them to look good, then I need to spend an extra 20 quid, and that 3D print's really expensive. I could 3D print it myself.
But they already do that.
Yeah.
Look at Heresy. Here's a load of generic Space Marines. Now buy your upgrade kits for 20.
Yeah.
They already do it.
Well, they do it for if who wants an Iron Hand, who wants a team of Iron Hand Marines when no one's got an Iron Hand? It's they already get you in, don't they? I know it affects the Space Marine chapters more than it does any other real element of, you don't get Orc upgrade kits, do you? It's mainly an Imperium thing, because you do get Imperial Guard ones and so on. But it really does go, if you don't want to just have bland Marines, look what we make. And and you go, and it then puts a huge price tag on every box of Space Marines you buy, which is why when I started with my son, I said, let's make up our own, then we won't need to rely on. And one of the reasons I said we'll do somebody that wears the Templar Cross is because GW can't IP the Templar Cross.
Yeah.
And it was one of the, because I thought, I know there'll be people making decal sheets for Templar Crosses, and GW can't do a thing about it. Yeah. And that's why we invented our own that used that icon, because then it meant we weren't having to buy upgrade kits. And then in the end, I did end up buying upgrade kits because
they were good.
Because the Templars came out.
Yeah.
And then so they got me in the end.
Yeah.
They got us in the end one way or another. But the good thing is that every time we bought a box of Marines, all the things that made them Templar were already in the box.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Crusaders were.
See, I don't mind generic Marines. Like, buy yourself, every Marine should be generic, or Ultramarines, whatever you want to call it, because they are generic as hell. And then buy your upgrade kits. I wouldn't mind that.
I just think the upgrade kits, the amount of them. If you were to turn your army looking and not have access to a 3D printer, if you wanted your army to look as maximum Blood Angel as they could, or as maximum Dark Angel, Iron Hands, whatever it may be, if you started trying to make everything have something on it that made it look that way, your price tag for your army is going to go up dramatically. Especially as well as you think in a lot of cases, the only way, unless you visit our friends in Japan, the only way you're getting hold of for a lot of your armies, the only way you're getting hold of decal sheets is one that comes in the upgrade kit. That,
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, where'd you get? If you go and if you decide to have a box, if you decide to have Blood Angel Intercessors,
Yeah.
There's no Blood Angel decal sheet in the boxes.
I don't know.
It's just a generic one which might have a few Blood Angel ones on it. And but you want anything more fancy than that, you're going to have to get the decal sheet.
Because you can't get a Blood Angels transfer sheet on its own, can you?
I've never really thought about that.
You think you can maybe in the new upgrade kit, but that's the only way to do it.
Yeah. I've never thought about that because I'm still using the one from Indomitus. Yeah. I haven't done many Blood Angels. No. So, but you're right. Like, and then sometimes I want a white blood drop. Sometimes I want a black one. Sometimes you want a yellow one. And yeah, like it's a little bit inconsistent. I don't know. I would, and again, it's a personal thing. We can all want different things. I'm just right. No.
Yeah.
But no, like I would like a more modular approach. I would like Warhammer to exist as a, hey, you want a Warhammer starter set? Build your own. So here's a book and 2 collector's editions for the price of whatever thing it is. Oh, cool. Yeah. So you get this scenery pack and that book, and you get to pick from two of any of the, what are we on, combat patrols now?
Yeah.
Or boarding actions or something.
Yeah.
And it's this price no matter which one you get. That's how you get started in Warhammer. Go there, and built around that. I'd like a more modular, organised approach. We used to do it. I used to work at Game years ago, and like all the stores around us were like, and they do it now, they've gone away from it, but it was like, you can buy this with the current latest game, and the latest game is free, and it's like Call of Duty. But it's like, but I don't want Call of Duty, I want Spider-Man 2. Oh, well, that was the latest game a year ago, and it's like, but Spider-Man 2 is 20 quid. Can I get Spider-Man free with my PlayStation? No. And the way we used to run it in Game back in the early 2000s was any game of, because it was £40 for a new game back then, any game of £40. Yeah. And if you bought a PlayStation 2, the Christmas sale was any 2 games of the value of £40 as a bundle.
Yeah.
Any 2 games. And you're like, oh, cool. And or lower. And it was like, oh, cool. So I'll just buy it. And people were buying loads of various stuff, and that's how we sold them, and that's how you did it. And people had choice. And I like having choice. And I like to go in there and go, I'll buy my generic Space Marines, and I'll access my upgrade. I'll access my flavour here. Or I'll just leave them. I'll have the cheap version, or I'll have the flavourful version. And I like having that. So we're off to Spiel. Oh no! So what are you painting?
What are you painting?
Yeah, well, my hobby. I started my Ork army.
Yay!
I'm still looking forward to us figuring out how many points this Ork army is. It must be about 20,000 points, surely.
No, maybe like 6,000. Maybe. Saying that, I have no idea. I'm just pulling numbers out my arse. It's
looking at how many Orks you paint. Looks like you put them out your ass as well.
So, yeah, I'm
Isn't
painting.
that how Orks are born?
Yeah. Well, so I'm starting off painting my boys, which is the new Pushfoot boys and then the Beast Snagger boys. There's about 100. So that will be a video painting 100 boys.
Forget points. Have you counted? There are 100 boys. Have you counted the boys?
Yeah, there's like 98, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
And then you've got commandos.
Yeah, then I've got the commandos as
you've
well.
Got every single vehicle.
No, I'm missing. I didn't get the death killer thingy wagon truck.
Oh, the really
thing.
big.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But you've
have you got the one that have you got the one that the squigs are pulling?
I don't have a stomper. No, that's the
that's
what I mean. Yes, and I don't have a stomper.
Okay.
But these are pretty much all of the plastic kits, aren't they? You've not gone into any Forge World stuff.
I haven't gone into resin. No,
right.
I want. I'd really like grot tanks, but they're just ludicrously expensive for how much resin you get.
Yeah, and they are legends as well now. But that's legends is cool as long as you're not playing tournaments. I think legends is great.
Yeah, but I'm super excited. So thoroughly enjoying that. And I need to. It's been like I haven't really done like such a massive project before, so trying to divide it up and figure it all out has been quite fun. Like doing the skin, I did some tests and you found like a speed paint that I really like for the skin, and then I'm sort of contrast painting other bits and bobs, but like doing 100 pairs of boots. God, it's so dull. But like
they do say that when you start doing production line, but to that number, that's the way that madness lies. You always say, don't production line any bigger than 10.
Yeah, that's it. So
especially as well if you do them in 10s, and I'm not telling you how to paint your orcs because I don't know, but if you do them in 10s, you get the dopamine hit of seeing something done.
Yeah.
To completion quicker, don't you?
Because it's like they're definitely in like an ugly stage at the moment. Like like the skin looks like because I zenithal them all with an airbrush, and then I was going to airbrush the skin. I did on my test models. I used an airbrush for the skin. Gilly Dew, the speed paint I used. Superb. Nice. Really, really good. I used it on Death Guard as well. That looked really good.
I'm going to send my youngest to you for painting lessons after Christmas, because he's going into combat patrol for Orks, so he can come and see you and tell him how to do it.
So that's been really cool. But I've been using contrast paint to block in like the trousers and the clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I'm not overly skilled with contrast paint on, like your big areas and all that sort of stuff. So some of it's a bit pooly and a bit blotchy. So I'm eager to highlight it up and wash it and put some streaking grime on it and get some metallics on there and all that sort of stuff. So it has been really fun. I've only done like two days on it so far. So quite excited. I keep updating people on Patreon. I'm like, I did 100 pairs of boots. And they're like, you idiot.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I finished listening to Spears of the Emperor, and I would definitely recommend that. I feel like Aaron Dembski-Bowden is becoming my favourite Warhammer author.
Wow, he is great.
Yeah,
and a lovely guy to boot as well.
Yeah. I've never met him, but I'd like to.
I've never met him either, but he said some nice stuff about the channel, and he sent us books ages ago, which was very sweet of him as well.
Oh, wonderful!
Oh, that's nice. God bless.
But yeah, he's done Hell's Reach, the Night Lords trilogy, and then the Emperor Spears are the ones of his. That I've read.
Like the Night Lords trilogy. I haven't read it, but it is highly rated.
It's really, really good, and I've got all the models to make a diorama from the first Night Lords book.
Is this your one you want to do?
Because in miniature, Miniature so there's a scene where they fight a Reaver Titan, and I'm like, it'd be so cool to recreate that. But if you bought a Reaver Titan, and then doing all the scenery would be mega expensive. You'd have to you could do it with the Night Lords kill team. You could make the claw there, but then doing the models in such detail, because all the characters in that, they're like pilfering bits of armor from other people.
Yeah.
So they're wearing like mismatched like colors and stuff. They don't they kind of paint over it and
eventually
and that kind of thing. And the main character has like a Blood Angels power sword. Because he was like, I killed some Blood Angels and got it. And he mentions in passing like the Blood Angels have potentially minor spoilers, but not really. It's just a passing comment. He's like, they've launched crusades, not like they've sent people just to come and reclaim the sword. And he's like 3 or 4 times, and I've just killed them all. He's brilliant. They really want it back.
They've sent crusades to get the sword. Lol.
Yeah. It's brilliant. But yeah, they kind of come down. They get dropped off in a Thunderhawk transporter. So yeah. And so you'd have to buy.
Expensive if you're doing that normal size, wouldn't it?
So you'd have your Thunderhawk, your Reaver Titan. They start off in a Rhino, but sort of get out, and there's a bunch of them like running around some buildings and stuff. Yeah. So I'm like, just do it in Imperialis scale. Like there isn't a Thunderhawk transporter in that scale. So I've got the gunship, but I've got the Rhino. The Titans come in the box like that we got when it first came out.
Could you not
and then you can get
up?
tiny troops and stuff potentially, but I'd probably end up making it a little worse.
It's hard, isn't it? Like, it looks like.
And then I've got some scenery because it's based in they're attacking a Forge world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no spoilers for what happens, but I think that'd be a really cool scene to do. Yeah. But yeah, Emperor Spears, thoroughly enjoyed it. Just really good fun.
This is a Custodian's book.
No, it's not.
No. It's Spears of the Emperor, which is about the chapter, the Emperor Spears.
Yeah.
And
okay. Didn't know that was a chapter.
So there's the Great Rift, and there's the good side that's got like earth and stuff, whilst Holy Terror, and then the other side that nobody can really reach. So he gets through, and like loads of his crew die. and then he's meeting up with this other chapter.
That
And,
are stuck on the other side.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, I was more interested in you telling us about your croissant.
Oh, good Lord. Sorry,
I want
sorry
to.
Aaron, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no offense to the author. I struggle with the topic.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just
It's what I really liked about it is how it was from the point of view of a human.
Yeah.
yeah, that normally helps
and,
ground it.
And I feel like that helps. And then quite a lot of the reasons for the Space Marines, like, you know, they're just knights in space, aren't they? And this, that, and the other. And it's like, why are you doing this? And it's like, we swore an oath bloody ages ago, so we're going to do it. And you're like, but that's just so pointless. And like, it's all futile.
Whoever said there was a point?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's very
He's so
you get that
nailed.
grim darkness.
He so nails it, this Marine, because it's from a chapter that only generally go to deal with things on their own.
Sorry, that's not even intentional.
And thanks for watching. See you next week.
That wasn't intentional.
Oh my God. Do you know I've killed men for less?
I'm genuinely, like, I didn't sleep well. And yeah, so go on, please. I'll feign interest.
Yeah, the Space Marine chapter don't operate as a chapter. They operate as individuals who train other people.
Okay.
So they're like instructors. But when there's a whole bit where on the ship going to try and get through the rift, he gets his minion to bleed him, doesn't he? Gets it to reduce how much blood he's got, and then practice fighting.
Yes.
To find out how good he can fight when he's missing, like, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably in a Space Marine case, about 15 pints
It was
of blood.
because because he doesn't need Space Marines don't really need sleep.
Yeah.
But they said no, you're gonna sleep. He was instructed to get sleep every day.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, if I'm gonna sleep every day when I don't need to, I'm gonna train like unbelievably hard.
Yeah.
And make stuff really, really hard. So he like forces his second heart into gear and all that sort of stuff.
It's a great book because it gives you an interesting slant of understanding in a way that a lot of other books don't cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I really rated that.
Yeah, it's good.
So that's kind of been Orks and listening to that. I'm back on Ravener now. I listened to the first book. I listened to the second one like to about halfway through, and then I was like, because the difference between like Dan Abnett and then like the Caiaphas Cain books, one is just like ungodly amounts of detail and quite like dry.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in like a negative way. And then Caiaphas Cain and Jurgen just like stomping around being like, Melter!
Yeah. Melter. Oh, look at the boobs on there. Oh, geez, still a cult. That is a lot of the time. That is how them books go.
Well, I'll tell you what. The one that you've listened to with the Space Marines, where they go on the Space Hulk and stuff.
Yeah,
that
with that really annoying ambassador's daughter.
Yes, that is a particularly boobacious book.
It is. Yeah.
In as far as Warhammer goes.
That poor lady's figure gets mentioned about every fourth page when she's about.
Yeah, which to be fair,
basically, and if we are saying it is massively misogynistic, which basically goes, she's really annoying, but have you seen the boobs? Which is basically every fourth page is what he says.
Yeah,
in a roundabout sort of way.
Yeah,
and that's not me saying that I didn't write them, but that's how it basically goes.
Yeah. So going back to Ravener. Oh, well, yeah, cut to the dog. Going back to Ravener and all of the details and it's because I'm listening to an audiobook when I'm driving, and the perspective shifts around quite a lot because Ravener is not a spoiler to say that like he's a psyker and he can sort of send his mind around everywhere. So going from the different points of view and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, I'm at Spaghetti Junction. How do I get into Birmingham? And then I start like paying attention to the book again, and I was just like, what the fuck happened? How's that guy dead?
The amount of times when I listen to an audiobook when I'm driving that I'm like, driving and rewinding frantically trying to figure out what went on.
Yeah. I do it with the wife in the car, and she's like, I've heard this 8 times, and I know, but I keep having to overtake.
I thought you were going to say you rewind the wife because you weren't listening to what she was saying. No, what were you saying?
Say that again. To be fair, I do that as well, yeah. So,
So what have you been up to, Jeffrey?
I've been painting my Warhammer Plus exclusive. So my new Inquisitor. Yeah, I personally think it's a really nice miniature.
It looks awesome.
He's nice, considering the fact that there is a pre-existing named Inquisitor that everybody loves, and then got a new model and was a bit ropey. This one that
I don't know what you mean.
This new one that no one's ever heard of before has got a really nice model, and it comes as 3 models, so it's nice. That's cool. You get him. It's quite grand. A really quirky, weird-looking servitor who looks like he uses sound as some sort of weapon, and a little servo skull. A one-piece servo skull model. The only thing the only separate piece is a little bit of battered plate, battered ground, sort of like, that then goes on there, which has got a little tiny slot in it, and the cable hanging off the bottom of the servo skull. It's got a little peg in it, glue it in, done.
Nice.
Great.
Sensational.
So there's that, and then my project going forward is I'm trying to teach myself to paint, learn to paint better using wonderful array of different people on YouTube, and I'm going to try and see if I can learn MMM.
Eminem.
Yeah. So our good friend and friend of the channel as well, being Mr. James Taro, I started making new.
Use that camera. Use that
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's been started making his new practice boards. He hasn't paid us to do this. I am just doing this because I think they are cool. So I'm going to try and learn to do some N and M. Thank you. There we go. And then we turn it over. You can learn to do
textures on the back.
Textures, wood, cloth. Much of fair. And then there's that one.
And then I've got a faces one.
And you've got a faces one, haven't you?
Yeah. Which I was putting out, you can't see.
It's good
it,
that
really.
if you start with the bigger face, and as you go down, like trying to get them, the scale on the small faces on that for eyes is smaller than on like Warhammer models.
And then this one, which has got loads of quirky.
Yeah.
I was going to say Battlefield.
That's random, isn't it?
I was going to say Battlefield bits, but there is actually a trainer, and there is a fox's head sticking out of and his tail.
There's like a jaguar there.
Yeah. Some random stuff going on, and then the other side to that is your
very gory autopsy plate.
Yeah, of a human and something that looks suspiciously like a xenomorph. But let's not say it is. But so there's them, and then like I say, you've got faces, haven't you?
I'll chuck it to you guys, and then you
can.
First
do.
Yeah, camera.
Got it. There we are. Camera 3. Boop. Where are we at? There we are.
Minimum
faces.
focus. Yeah.
You've got.
So one thing I didn't realise before picking it up in my hands was that the scale of the faces goes down, as you just said.
So you've got like marine-looking faces for the first couple, then a bearded. Well, I suppose that quite could be a marine head as well, and then something looks a bit sisters, zombie, and then a goblin, and then they go down in size, but they are very, very cool. And then on the other side, loads of different textures to work with.
They're brilliant. You've got fur, like leather, scaly skin, like a moon surface.
Yeah, and that's like some kind of like Death Guardy.
Sort of. That looks like it's come straight off the Unclean one, doesn't it? That sort of style.
Yeah, and then like a rock face with Taro's little logo on it. But fantastic.
They're really, really
$5?
good. I think they're a $5.
Yeah.
And the great thing is you play around with them, you do them, and then throw them in your bio strip or your cleaner of choice, spray them again and get started again.
For a $5, like for all them faces, I'd just buy another one happily. Like, and it's good. Like, as a little extra, because obviously he does a lot of plinths, he does a lot of custom weaponry for larger scale models. But you know, if you're there and you're buying a plinth for a piece or something like that, and you're just like, hey, that's a little extra.
Throw that in the box as well. So bless him, he hasn't asked us to talk about them, but they are just so nice. I thought they were worth a mention. I thought. So I'm going to try and have a go at learning some NMM, because my life's just not full of enough stuff going on in it.
Godspeed. Yeah,
I don't swear enough things in life, so I thought I'll try and see if I can learn that as well.
Yeah,
you never know. When we go to Spiel, we might be hanging around with the godlike Richard Gray.
Oh, we'll be doing that. Yeah.
So
sorry in advance, Richard. If you're watching this before
I'm just going to take a load of grey paints and white paints with me and go, Richard, Richard, where are you going, Richard? Come back. Stop saying you go to the toilet. That's the 7th time an hour. Richard.
If there's one thing I know about Richard Gray, he loves being hounded by people as well.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
No, I just want to apologise to him because I think we mentioned after Adepticon, I was like, I said on the show, like watching him go, like one of your favourite painters, and you know, I'll say this publicly because I've said it to my face. He is one of my favourite painters.
Richard's amazing.
Oh, I love it, absolutely love his work. And then after Adepticon, I was like watching him go up and stand there because they pulled everyone up and then said these people have won. Then everyone's and you watch Richard Gray go up and then sit down without an award, and I was like, and then he came home with nothing. No, he did actually get.
He did
get a trophy.
He got a trophy for Open, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it was open, but yeah, so he did get a trophy. So sorry, Richard, for saying you.
I'm looking
didn't
forward to
win an
seeing
award
what we
when
get
you
out of
very
Richard
much
for this one. Should be cool.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see. What like
Wasn't he going to do?
heavy hitters are doing?
Wasn't he doing? Was that going to be for Golden Demon Chapter Master for the Blood Angels?
I don't
Dante.
know.
Yeah, Dante.
Yeah, he was doing a NMM Dante and a bunch of other stuff, which I don't think he entered into Adepticon because he had a bereavement.
He did indeed. Yes.
So I don't know if he's finished them or not. Yeah.
I tell you the one I'm looking forward to for Spiel, because I've seen the beginnings of them, and as they are in my wheelhouse of things that I'm interested in, is one of my other favourite painters, being Dave Perryman.
Yeah.
He's in there in my top 5. He was doing on his Patreon how he was painting Kroot skin for Golden Demon. So as somebody who's massively on a Kroot roll at the moment, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what that might entail.
That, you know what, it might be worth clarifying. So we're saying we're going to Spiel, but it's actually Golden Demon is Spiel.
Spiel,
Yes.
And Spiel is you've seen how big it is, because obviously you've been to LVO, so you've kind of gone
I'm
up.
just getting
So you've had LVO, which was quite small and rather intimate of a setting, with only about 15 or so vendors totally.
Yeah, there wasn't many of us.
Adepticon.
Oh, there was way more than
100.
15 vendors.
LVO.
Yeah, there was, because
Okay,
you take the corridors into consideration, but there was less than,
I'd still say
it was about 30, 40.
Yeah, something like that.
40.
Yeah.
I don't think there was 40.
I think so.
Yeah, if
1,
you took
2,
the
3,
corridors
4,
into consideration.
Yeah. Welcome to the painting phase. Ross does maths.
From memory, of something can't prove.
He's got an eidetic memory.
Yes.
No, there wasn't 30. There was about 26, 27.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nowhere
Go
near
on,
30.
Nowhere near 30.
Yeah, there were 5 rows of 4
Nowhere near
and the
30
3
at all.
outside.
27, nowhere near 30.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing it with decimal places. But yeah, so
He was doing it in dollars.
that's why. So yeah, so anyway, you've got LVO was quite small in comparison to Adepticon, which was
Adepticon was...
significantly larger. You've skipped Gen Con,
Yes, I
which
have.
which is probably equally larger again to Adepticon, to Spiel, which is the biggest convention I've ever seen in my life. Like I thought Gen Con was the biggest, and I thought, a little one in Germany, it won't be as big. Especially when you get there and you see this building, but you don't realise the warehouses and thingies behind it. This was, I thought it was 4 or 5 halls, and one of them's only really half a hall. But yeah, 5 halls. But then as I was walking around one day to try, because we had to get stock back to the UK, and trying to organise this thing's a nightmare. So Ed, who goes with us, who works for the lovely Ed of Element Games, wonderful guy, who'd organised it, wasn't able to do this
socks
one.
off, bless him.
He does. Wasn't able to do this one, so I had to stand in as like, right, where does everything go? And trying to find somewhere. And I ended up walking, instead of through our entrance for vendors, through the main entrance on my way out, to find that there were halls 7 and 8, which were purely there for people to queue in.
Oh, wow.
2 full halls of queue.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's how big it was. And then not only did they have the 4 or 5 halls, they also had this whole corridor. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get everyone a coffee one morning.
Good Lord.
Do you know what? I've got to be honest. I do.
It's huge.
I know it sounds utterly smug, and it's not a likable thing to say. I do like wearing a lanyard of power. A big event.
plus one entry. Like, yeah.
As if anybody remembers some a very old Eddie Izzard live show when he was talking about his Bishop of Durham pass. I do like having my Bishop of Durham pass. Let's go.
we're allowed into that room. Yeah, but to be fair, like you are. This lets me get to work soon.
I know. Yeah, I know. Excuse me while I get to work. Yeah.
Yeah. Feels good though.
Let me get in early so I can stand there and ask you, how can I help you?
Because no, like when we were at Gen Con and we'd get there maybe an hour before it opened.
Yeah.
And that was really great because everyone would be sort of getting in and everything. You could walk around the shops just to look at stuff, but it was just so much quieter.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
Yeah, just to talking to people, like getting to see people early morning from the different brands, and again, it's like you've got all these rival companies in this space, but then seeing them all talk to each other
and get on
because we're all just hobbyists. Even though you've got like this marketing, I'm not naming any names, but this marketing guy for that company and that marketing guy for that company who sell the exact same products to the exact same audience are having a chat and a laugh about their new releases and their new releases.
I think it was I'd highly recommend going to some kind of convention if you can, because it's lovely to see people in person and kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of the internet.
Again, we've got our wonderful friend from Monument Games, haven't we? Is with us
Jordan, yes. Jordan's going to be joining us this time.
For those of you that don't know, Monument Games are hobbies. Sorry, Monument Hobbies, I do apologise. Hobby behind Pro Aquarol, which is one of my favourite paint ranges. And it was quite weird for me because I didn't know. I met him in Vegas and we had quite a good laugh. And then I met him again at Adepticon. We went out for a meal, which was lovely. And then I went to Birmingham Games Expo, and there he was in the Art of Circus stand, sitting there painting. And then he's back to do the same thing again.
Yep.
He's their European export at the moment, isn't he, Jordan?
Yes, he is. Yeah, and he's brilliant. He's a fantastic
he's a really
painter,
and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, does some good. He's not very good at liar's dice.
Is he?
He's not, and I'm not. Yeah, well, no, I'll say what. So, Liar's Dice is the best game ever.
Yeah,
it is.
It is fantastic. If anybody doesn't
Do you remember when we played Liar's Dice for one piece of chocolate in Chicago? Didn't we?
Did we?
Remember when we went to that really cool coffee shop for that one?
Yes.
And
yes,
Ed won, and you've never seen a man with a look of smugness eat a piece of chocolate.
I've got a photo of it. It's like he literally, and he was like, "I'm going to eat this," but he just looked like he was making out with a piece of chocolate. And I've just got a little photo that I've turned into a sticker that I've said, "Find a guy who looks at you like Ed looks at this thingy."
Fantastic.
But it was ever so nice, wasn't it? It was proper like artisan chocolate. I should have gone back for some more, but yeah, that was really nice stuff. And so we were playing Liar's Dice. But if you play Liar's Dice with stats and you sat there going, right, the likelihood of this being the roll because there's this many on the table and you do that, you will lose.
No, it's got to because when you're playing Liar's Dice, what you're playing is you're playing your personality against somebody else's personality.
It's like blackjack, you're playing the dealer, aren't you?
Yeah. Because the rolls can be so random. Like, I've honestly rolled like 4 6s before in 5 dice, and I've been there like, I'm fine for this, and then the table doesn't even get to you, and you're like, no,
it's such a good roll.
Don't have a tell. And then at the same time, I called somebody and I was like, no, I don't think there are 2 5s on this table. I call, and then I remembered I've got 2 5s. Why did I call that? That was the stupidest. It's a brilliant game. So so we'll play some of that.
And the greatest thing is, it's just going to be like one of the cheapest games you could ever play.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
a couple of dice. You go, what more do you need?
But Jordan's coming. Jordan, who's not so good at Liar's Dice, we'll train him up. We'll get him better this time. We got our booking cancelled, apparently because of a flood. So we got booked into, basically it was an Airbnb, wasn't it?
We were all going to be in house, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we were all going to be in this Airbnb, which is cool because then you can, while you're away, it means you can potentially host people and have people around, or we can cook for ourselves. We've got a bit more freedom and options, and it was a lot cheaper. And Ed got the call last week to say it's been cancelled, so now we're in a hotel. And I reckon it's been cancelled for the same reason so many Airbnbs get cancelled. And this is an assumption, so I'm not trying to slander anyone. But yeah, like when big events are on, and the Airbnb host hasn't realised, like,
Yeah.
oh God, they cancel your booking, put their prices up and put it back on.
You mean like all the hotels that are anywhere near any of the Oasis gigs?
Yeah, they'll
Oh,
be
really?
doing it.
Oh,
they-
we had a computer problem. And
Yeah.
when you book you back into your hotel, it's strangely £150 a night more
Yeah.
expensive.
Oh, if
Really
you've got
dodgy.
if you've got an Airbnb near any of the Oasis gigs, you probably haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
'Cause how big is the Oasis tour? Are they is it just the UK or they're going around the world?
How big is it? Big enough to cover that divorce settlement that he's got.
Oh, right, yeah.
very good. Jesus
20
Christ.
million quid that Noel's got to pay out in the divorce.
Really? Wow.
Blooming heck. I don't.
Poor man, he'd be down to his last 40 million after that.
I don't like. I know it's big, as in like
he'll get by.
people are going mad, like, oh God, it's amazing. But haven't these guys been quite famously fell out for years? I
Yeah.
don't know that this is going to be good.
No, so there was a
I think
really
it'd be funny if they fell out before the tour actually happened.
yeah,
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they won't. They'll have an insurance claim. There'll be an insurance in this that will make them do this, or they will have to pay
Yeah.
hefty, I think.
Something like that.
And they're so
There's,
turbulent.
A wonderful podcast called The Rest Is Entertainment.
Richard Osman.
Yeah, Richard Osman.
Great podcast.
Yeah, and Marina Hyde, who's like a producer in like TV and film and stuff. And they talk about all the entertainment and this, that, and the other. And they were saying that like they're rich enough already, they don't have to do it. They're saying that apparently you'll be able to sell all the rights to his songs
Yeah.
fairly soon, like 2025. So they're
Yeah.
kind of like building up the hype, getting back in the
Right.
zeitgeist, and then he'll be able to make more money. And he'll be able to sell it for a ludicrous amount of cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have no interest in going to
I
see
always
them.
like the one when I was like the one of them from years ago was when Paul McCartney worked with Michael Jackson on the
Yeah.
Thriller album.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson said, I want to invest some money. I'm not going to do the voice. He says, I want to invest my money into getting something that I'm getting a good return on. And Paul McCartney says, you know what you should do? And he says, well, he said, buy the rights to songs of different artists. And Michael Jackson went, you know what, that's a great idea. And I went out and bought the Beatles.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he bought the rights to he's like, I'm going to buy all your music.
Thanks
and
for
he
doing
did.
the voice.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. So that's
Yeah.
probably that'll be where he's had all his money from. Is more having the rights to that stuff.
I think
than-
he sold it. I think I don't know if he still had it at death or whether he'd sold them on again. I don't know. It's like bands I used to really like. It was called Carter USM, and Carter sang in the middle of one of their songs. They used to use the line "Goodbye Ruby Tuesday," and that's obviously from a Rolling Stones track. And they used to use it as like a bit
Obviously.
of a mick take bit in the middle of one of their songs. And then the people who owned the music came and got in touch and went, "You can't do that anymore. You're not allowed to, because if you start singing that bit now, we'll start billing you
Yeah,
for
have
it."
to charge them
Even
for
to the
it.
point that at gigs they weren't allowed to do it. So they
Yeah.
would sing the song and they go, "You all know the bit." And then we would sing it back to them.
Is that a thing? Like, do you need the
Yeah.
rights for that? Because I think
if you
didn't
do- if you're
Rihanna
doing it
use
live,
a line
yeah.
from a Michael Jackson song that I'm not gonna repeat because I can't say it.
Potentially, but she probably got the rights. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the tune in my head. I don't know what the words are.
I've no idea what it was, but yeah.
But like, would she have had to have the rights for?
Yeah. Otherwise, she would have been sued to oblivion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not just an homage too?
No. You have to. You have to.
So
pay.
if I use the
Yeah, you
same
have to pay.
line, so if I wrote a song, and in that song is I said maybe.
No, but it will have to. They'll be within a certain point with when you go. You know, if you wrote in a song, and I will always love you, the people you can't. Someone's not going to be able to come and get you because that's going to turn. How many songs with I will always love you in it are going to? There must be thousands of them, but there can be enough that there's a point to go. That.
Yeah, like these things go to court. Like Marvin
Was
Gaye's.
it Ed Sheeran got done
so
recently?
Marvin Gaye's estate are notorious for suing people.
Yeah.
And Ed Sheeran used there's saying another thing, you can parody something and you don't have to pay.
Yeah. So that's
if you're doing that, you can kind of
Yankovic got away with it.
You can get around
Yankovic,
that sort of stuff. Yeah, I watched that documentary recently.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, the Daniel Radcliffe one.
It's
I
meant
got
to be
halfway
great.
through.
Yeah.
I was like, and I get that it's satire, but I'm like, I'm really struggling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
with this style.
I thought it was quite funny. I heard ages ago there was the 4-chord song.
Yes.
I think and
the Axis of Awesome.
Yeah, the Axis of Awesome, the 4-chord song, and they do loads of different songs.
They got
because
sued.
it's all because it's all just 4 chords, just and you can change the key, but it's 4 chords, and that's what the vast majority of pop songs use. So Ed Sheeran had a chord progression that sounded like a Marvin Gaye song, so they took him to court, and he played his guitar in court to be like, look, this is all these other songs that use it.
Right, okay.
Go after them. You're only coming after me because I'm really successful at the minute.
Yeah. You get that.
Yeah.
Like the one that annoyed me, I remember, was a musical thing, was in the Metal Gear Solid series. There was a theme tune that they used for Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 2.
Yeah.
And then in Metal Gear 3, it was surprisingly absent, and it turns out that somebody had said, oh, that sounds like our song. And apparently instead of fighting it, and again, it's all rumor mill, but instead of the Konami fighting it, perhaps Kojima, who was the developer, the head developer guy, wanted to. They were like, we don't want to fight the thing, change the song. But like, not being corporate entity, not caring how much, like, how evocative that tune had become through the 2 games previously, and how much it matters to the audience. But it wasn't the biggest thing, but it was like when they went.
A wagon, not thunder.
Okay, I thought it was thunder. I got scared. My eyes and face dropped like a dog. I was like,
Bella. However,
yeah, exactly. I
didn't move.
Yeah, my tail stopped wagging and everything. But yeah, so like that. So that when they go back to like some earlier parts in part 4, like having that tune come in would have been key, because they started like really amping it up. But yeah, they just got rid of it, and that was upsetting.
What was your what's name? Fun Loving Criminals got nailed, didn't they, by Quentin Tarantino for using in Scooby Snacks. They used big sections from things like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Oh right.
They literally stole the. They didn't even. It wasn't even them saying the words. They just sampled straight from the film, and I think that was early days of that.
Yeah.
Where at one point you could just do it and no one did anything about it, and then Quentin Tarantino sort of stepped forward and was like, "I'm not happy about that."
I think it was Metallica back in the day sued Napster for stealing their music, and there was someone that sampled some Metallica tracks as well. Like, they were quite one of the first like bands to have a try.
Blimey heck. So anyway, so we're going to Spiel, which is a massive board games convention. But so it's board games, not war games. It's board games. And that is where Games Workshop are having Golden Demon. Which leaves me scratching my head a bit, because it's not a...
They're quite... Well, I would look through without sounding like I'm going up. You've been there and I haven't. But looking through the vendors, though, there's quite a lot of wargamer companies in the vendors.
There's a few, but not. I don't think as many. Like, I don't think you've got like all of your paint
it's definitely
vendors.
not Adepticon.
No, it's not Adepticon. Yeah, that's it. And it for a board game convention, I don't know. Like, painting competitions are a very niche part of the Warhammer hobby. Anyway, my favourite part, but it is that, and it I feel like at Adepticon, it belongs. At Adepticon, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I was making sure it wasn't important. It belongs there because it's a hobby event.
Yeah.
This feels a bit weird. Like, I can understand why it's moved to Europe, because then you've got your European and your US.
Yeah.
That's it. And I don't know of another convention it should be at that's more hobby in Europe, but it's the juxtaposition of very esoteric painting competition and huge board game event. I'm wondering where are the booths going to go? What space is it going to take up? How many people crowded around it when it was did either of you go to Fest?
No.
No.
Okay, so at Fest it was just like
We were at
army
salute.
of nerds. It was army of nerds staring through the glass, blocking access for people. So where it's going to be at Spiel, like you've seen big events, you know what it's like getting down those things. It's
Yeah.
like UK Games Expo. Imagine one booth with just crowds.
I wonder where if it's going to move around on a European level. I wonder where it could be next year. Do you know what?
Do you think it'll move around? Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it will become solid Germany.
Right.
I accept and I understand why it's solid Adepticon,
Yeah.
because it's a really big wargaming event. It's dedicated
the
to
biggest
wargaming.
one in the world. Yeah.
And,
Pretty much central US.
and it's central.
Yeah.
It's central.
It's
as you can-
Midwest, but yeah.
But so I get it, and it's been established with Adepticon for a lot of years now, hasn't it, Golden Demon?
Yeah. No, it's 3 years. I think it's only 3 years.
3 years, sorry.
Yeah,
But it's
post-COVID,
been
yeah.
there with them for a little while. But I think the first time they did it after COVID and they tried to do it at Warhammer World was a massive failure because
that didn't work. It wasn't a failure. It was just people couldn't get in.
well, this was but there was people who couldn't
Enter.
enter, which
Yeah.
I think was awful. I followed a really great painter I was following who's a big contributor to the Faith and Damnation Facebook group, who are a lovely, lovely bunch of people. I was following his progress on it and then couldn't get a ticket.
Yeah.
And you go, it must be really
Yeah.
heartbreaking. But I think, I think I'd like to see the European one move about.
Okay.
I think,
Where would it go to?
well, why can't, if you think about, if we think back briefly to last Birmingham Games Expo, how much of that hall that was just used for queuing up
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you'd move it out of main hall into its own space.
into its own space,
Yeah.
and why not give Birmingham Games back? If we're saying board games doesn't matter to Golden Demon, which is what we're saying because of Essen, if board games are the main thing,
I think Golden Demon doesn't matter to board games.
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. If it's all board games and card games, and then a little bit war games, and GW's still happy to put Golden Demon on at Essen, even though it's not a tabletop war game event only, then it wouldn't matter to put it on a Birmingham Games Expo, surely.
I don't know. I don't know that UK is going to be done anymore. I think, and no one's said anything official about this, but I think they're done with UK events. I think it's become such a brand that it's now US and Europe. And let's be fair, for Europe, Europeans can get to Germany or France or Spain easier than they can get to the UK because there's a big bloody puddle in the way.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, but yeah,
I think they'll do UK events again.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying never. I don't think. In
Yeah.
the
I'm not bitter,
foreseeable.
but don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of people who entered Adepticon who didn't live on that continent.
Oh yeah.
So if you're prepared to jump on a plane and fly to the US to put your Golden Demon entry in, jumping on a ferry, or, unless you live like the extreme end of Europe, a 4-hour flight, and that is the extreme end of Europe.
Yeah.
I think people will still be prepared to fly to the UK to do Golden Demon.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Europeans enter an Adepticon. It's a lot shorter flight to Birmingham Games Expo than it is to what will be Milwaukee.
But where would they do it in the UK? Like in the UK, they've got to organise it themselves.
What's wrong with Birmingham Games Expo? It's enormous.
Oh yeah, that's a
or
good
like
point,
the
actually, yeah.
if they did Fest at the centre, and instead of being at the UK Games Expo, if they just went to the site and did it themselves, but that would be very, very expensive.
Yeah,
But
well,
they've
Maybe
done- they've done it before, though,
Golden
so-
Demon potentially just might not be cost efficient. Like you have
Yeah,
a
I couldn't
bunch of
imagine them ever
really
dropping it though.
a bunch of really, really passionate people that will literally travel around the world to enter their models into it. Like the amount of Brits that went over to Adepticon, absolutely insane.
yeah, I can only imagine.
And it is great promotion for Workshop as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
like, they're never going to not do it.
I don't think so.
I can imagine that, and it's this is purely speculation, but I imagine with the corporate entity they are now or appear to be now, I imagine you've got like some events team people and some marketing people and some money people arguing the value of Golden Demon. Like, why are we putting this on?
Yeah.
What's it doing? Because you can't. It's not measurable, is it?
No.
Like, it's not oh, well, we put this on, and due to Golden Demon, we sell X amount of them. You can't quantify that.
Like, why do the Olympics?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why do countries invest so much money into it?
Yeah.
Because they want to be at the top of the medal table, or appear to have done really well, and it's like that sort of soft power type thing again, isn't it?
I couldn't see them dropping it myself.
No,
I can't.
But maybe. I mean, maybe they don't want to have specific, like, Festa's going to have to come back, right? Maybe.
Dunno.
I mean,
I think they'll do.
Just tack it on to other events.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if Fest becomes like an every 2-3 year thing.
I don't know that they need it. Like, all everyone did.
What they need
Fest
to do
was
is do
whinge.
it better. Yeah.
Well, that's what we want.
Yeah.
What
they need to do is say, hey, this new Space Marine game's coming out. Here's all of the cool tie-in miniatures that we're releasing at the same time. Yay!
Yeah, that would have. They do feel like they missed the boat there.
What with Space
Why
Marine?
wasn't the Space Marine 2 collector's box of just some new miniatures, some existing miniatures who turn up in the game, all in a box? Yeah, it means you're going to end up especially if you're an Ultramarine player, you're potentially going to end up buying miniatures you may already own.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, why wasn't you right? Like, you look at Modifius.
It's just the most simplest thing in the world to just put together in my eyes.
Yeah.
But, I don't have a miniatures game company, so maybe I should shut up.
But again, Modifius, it's like, right, the Fallout TV show could be crap, but even if it is, we're going to have the main 5 characters ready in a box set.
Yeah.
And we might sell 100.
Like, it had.
We might sell 100,000.
Yes.
Had Walton Goggins in it. It was never going to be bad.
It was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I could easily watch him in anything.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him bad in anything.
No,
I've seen him in bad things.
Yeah, but he's never bad in them.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Ant-Man 2 was really ropey, but he still was good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so stuff like that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Why aren't they ready?
So they
Either
have
way, I'm hopeful. I'm very interested to see how it's going to run at an event like this that's already so huge. It is ridiculous.
The one
I didn't see. Like, we saw everything at LVO easily. I would say we saw, vendors wise, everything at Adepticon over the scope. I went to Spiel. I don't think I saw 30%.
Wow.
Is Spiel bigger than Gen Con?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
by about 3 times, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I've downloaded the app.
Yeah.
I've downloaded the app.
Whoa there.
I know, 'cause,
You have to.
I downloaded the Spiel app, and the bit that made me go, "Oh, this looks like it could be actually quite a fair size," was when I put in exhibitors
And scrolling.
Oh my
Keep
god.
scrolling as limit.
Yeah, you're there. Yeah.
1,000. It looks like it's deep in the 700 or 800s by the looks of it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, it'll be kind of like a Gen Con. No. It was so Gen Con, like
it's like when I'm scrolling through for the year of my birth when I'm on a website. I wish I was joking.
Whoever this is, they're really trying. So there's a chance I might need to.
Do you want to have a
answer, 'cause
pause?
It could be my kid's school.
Do you want to have a pause and answer?
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And talking of vendors, Spiel, you can find Artus Opus where we will be.
Ooh.
Going into this handy app that they produced. We are
Holly
Hall
again.
1E treble 1.
We're in Hall what?
Hall 1E treble 1.
I'm really lost now because I think we were in Hall 1 last time, but Hall 1's at the back. It's so odd because I don't know where the front and the back is. Like when I walked out, I was walking through Halls 7 and 8, but that was the main entrance where people come in. But there's a second entrance round the side that lets you straight into the hall we're in. What's weird though to say, like how many thousands of people are there every night when we left, the city was dead. I say the city, like Essen around the area just seemed dead. Like we went up to restaurants, like there were places where it took a while to get in, but when you leave Gen Con, like you just look around, the nerds everywhere.
Yeah.
You're like, there's some guys over there. Let's be fair, we all look the same. Like there'll be somebody, mostly dark clothing, probably some chains, blue hair, tattoos, piercings. Is a very generic look for our lot. And that type of person will be everywhere at Gen Con. You walk out at Spiel and it's like 3 or 4, maybe.
Wonder whether just a lot of people just commute themselves back into Dusseldorf.
Yeah,
which
could be.
with us being
We are now,
going to be in Dusseldorf, we might see some of you knocking around with your piercings and your chains and your
tattoos
blue and your blue hair.
Yeah.
It's always blue, isn't it? Do you know why it's most commonly blue? Stays in longer. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Or the other colour. Yeah, it's same. Like hair dye is pretty much the same as pigment. Blues cover really strong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yellows don't cover as much.
No, you have to like bleach your hair and then put
bleach the life out of your hair.
Yeah, pinks like
Same
the last
again,
2 or
bleach
3
your hair.
days.
You have to bleach your hair again.
Yeah.
I think I've had my hair most of these colours. Greens are normally quite strong. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Very good.
But yeah, so we'll be there. We'll be excited. We'll be loving it. We'll be talking to people. We'll be doing painting demos. We'll be chatting. We'll be selling brushes. We'll be wandering around. We'll be buying stuff. We'll be eating. We're going to have. I'm not going to tell anyone where because it's our place. But last year we had a sushi boat.
Oh, I've seen pictures of this.
Yeah, so this was. I'll bring pictures afterwards because we're doing it again. So a friend of ours, Andy, was there. Andy, who you met while we we're at LVO. And him and Byron, I say friend of ours. I don't think he likes me, but no. So him and Byron have been mates or something for a while. That they've grown up together or worked together previously or something like that. And so he joined us one night and we were like, oh, we'll go to this place. And it was a sushi restaurant. Andy was like, oh, I love sushi. I'm like, I love sushi. And then Paul, who was with us, was like, I quite like sushi too. So there were 2 options. You could buy a sushi boat for 2 or a sushi boat for 6. And it was like, well, 3 of us are going to eat it, so we can't get the for 2 one.
How many does need to eat it before it becomes a sushi ship?
This was close. Like, they gave us chopsticks. You needed oars. Like... It was insane, and it was brilliant. So this boat between us, and then there was this other young lad with us called Tom, and he was like, "Oh, you lads are weak. I'll do that." And he'd added
Wasabi.
Yeah, no, he'd had like some noodle soup thing.
All right.
Faux gras, one of them, I think means.
Probably Klingon then.
Yeah, I think Is it gar? Whatever. But it's really nice. And he had that, and then we're eating the sushi, and he had like 3 bits. And he was like, "I'm done." And we were there like on piece like 19 and 20, like, oh god, just trying to get through this thing was absolutely. So we've got to go back and redeem ourselves. Sushi. I am in training. So in fact, after this, I'm going to go to Tesco and go to the Yo Sushi counter, which is horrible. But I'm gonna get me some to just pre-train. Ready for next week, and I'm not going to tell anyone where it is because if we do and people are like, "Oh, I'm going to go there," then we won't get a table because the place isn't massive.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're going back there for one night, and then there's a big meal one night where it was about 30 people, wargamers all going in the chat, which is really cool. So looking forward to that as well. It's going to be great. I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. Last thing before we go is. I know we've talked about it every week for the last few weeks, but it's now so close we can taste it, is Kill Team.
Yes.
And we're going to use this as our way of finally getting Ross to roll dice. And although I've pre-ordered from the lovely people at Element Games, my Hivestorm box.
Wonderful people. How would people find Element Games? Is there a link in the description?
There's a link in the description,
An affiliate
and they
one as well.
are, and to be fair to them, I've looked at the RRP of Hellstorm.
Kill Team.
Hivestorm.
Hivestorm. Thank you, not Hellstorm. Hivestorm and
Hivestorm Wargaming.
That's the one. And
great channel, not to be confused with that other one.
No.
What other one?
and their price is rather nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Element Games
and
is
they've got
good
all the
too.
new boxes. You were right. So all the Kill Teams have been re-released in new packaging.
Yeah, well, they're making their way through them.
Yeah.
Which comes with their own unique counters in there as well.
Yeah.
The prices took a bit of a leap, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to start playing. What are we thinking about playing as our teams?
I am probably, because I've got them built already, the Commandos.
Going to go all Commandos.
Okay.
Quite possibly. Or I've got, I think just behind you there, on the bottom shelf near to the left of the Gundam maybe is like I can't remember what they're called, the Beastmen.
Yeah.
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 They are Fella, you know what? I'm just gonna get.
Just grab her.
I forget, like I could just walk. Oh, I was trying to read the side. It's big on top. The Felgor Ravagers.
Yeah.
You may as well. It's here.
I thought you
Yeah.
might have said.
Are these allowed in the new version?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are they?
Well, because
they've
you're still
if they've had
still
a kill team, if they've
Yeah.
had a kill
Like
team,
I
then-
won't
Oh,
won't have the new tokens, but
yeah,
you need them, right?
It was last week, wasn't it, when we were talking about they're phasing out some of
yeah,
them?
they're phasing out some of them.
So
and,
Orc Commandos, RIP, have only got a year left in tournament play.
and in tournament play.
Right.
They'll still be
okay.
looked after at our level, but they won't be in tournament.
Oh well, we're
play.
not going to play tournament anyway.
We're
We're
not.
just going to have some fun.
And yes, they will get a. They will eventually get a reboxing as well with their new counters.
Oh right, yeah, edit.
Damn it!
Hey.
Yeah, so
I like that we've got a
What
product
might do then?
camera
I don't
now.
know,
We can go, hey,
What
thing.
did you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were going to say Night Lords.
No, because I thought Ross back in
So-
Night Lords.
Oh right, okay.
I was, but then so there's another chat going beyond this where, is it who's in it? Spen, Lloyd, Byron. They're on about like let's all get together and have a
start
game
kill
and
teaming
start,
up.
yeah, start doing some kill teams.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But Byron wants us all to drive to Manchester because someone happens to have a massive gaming arena.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
up
he's
that way.
what he's not saying. It's at the back of Byron's house.
Yeah, but yeah, so we'll find somewhere, and then I think either Spen or Lloyd was like, "Oh, I'm quite interested in the Night Lords." What I really want to do is and there's a reason that I haven't revealed yet. I really want to have a Death Guard kill team,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I
which is
don't know.
going to
But
become a
there
problem.
isn't a Death Guard kill
No,
team.
because what they've done is a lot of kill teams where compendium kill teams, and they have been all killed.
right, so,
Fittingly,
Yeah,
yeah. So they aren't killed going forward. The compendium ones, as far as I understand, if you know more than me, please do get in the comments and put me right, because I do talk a lot of nonsense. But I don't think I think there is a way around it, which is you can pick. I think you can pick like the particular thread of like you can have legionaries, like you can have legionary Chaos Marines, and I think you can
Right.
pick like a blend for them of going, oh, they follow the Nurgle
So they
thing.
follow that
I
thing,
think
right.
so. Because
tell
I've
you
not
what.
played them, I haven't looked into them that deeply.
let's do it this way. You guys, right? So if this is possible, two questions. One,
Go on.
is there a way I can get a 10-man squad of Plague Marines as a kill team, and and how can I do that?
Yeah.
And if I do that, considering this is me getting into kill team, am I just biting off more than I can chew? And is this a complete waste of time? And I
Could
should stick with something simpler.
You take the rules for the Night Lords.
I don't know.
And
And
well,
then just play-
and,
just
and
play.
proxy Death Guard models.
Yeah, just
I could do,
that.
but I want to know the best way of doing it.
Yeah,
And I feel
because-
like
See, the problem being
brain
is the
trust
things
might
that
know better.
the things that would make Death Guard good don't exist for you, which is things like contaminations and things like that, which they have in 40k.
Right,
Which is
okay.
like, hopefully, when they finally do
Yeah.
a plague Marine,
You need that
If-
flavour.
if
You'll have
they
that
finally
flavour.
do.
They'll finally
That's
get
what
a
I mean.
flavour.
So yeah, so is it just going to be like, am I going to be underwhelmed by doing it?
You're going
or
to be
is
what
there
you're
a way?
basically going to do is just play. If you do it
I'll
now,
play
you're
those
basically
Chaos
going to play
Marines.
green. You're playing green Chaos Marines, basically.
Right.
I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then I don't have any thematic flavour.
So who would you do instead?
Who would I do instead? I don't know, because I wanted Night Lords, but I think Spence took them. I wanted Plague Marines, and I want something original. Can I use the RBTs?
Yeah, they have. You certainly can take RBTs.
Yeah.
Then I will take them and paint them all to look like Judge Dredd.
Yeah, which is what I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, use that.
And then what are you thinking of going?
I think because I've been spending a big chunk of time on them anyway, is I probably will do my Kroot Farstalkers, I think.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny because we're all talking about this and what I'm getting, buying this brand new box, but not really considering buying either of the two squads that are in it. But saying that, the Vespid, I'll reference him again because he has really put a load of effort into covering this new release for Kill Team, is Andy at Glass Half Dead. I was on his channel last night. He was doing a little bit of a live Q&A about things he'd been told. He's put a lot of effort into his channel, and he's really done his best to cover this new release a lot. And he was saying that the new Jump Pack Guard, Tempestus gang in there. His staff very good. They're a bit one-trick pony, and their one trick is you put only so many on the board. The rest of them are in your imaginary Valkyrie,
okay.
and then later on they drop into certain areas.
Oh, that's an interesting.
And he said they do that well, but that's all they do. But apparently, he thinks the Vespid could already be borderline top tier team.
Okay.
But I want the Vespid because I want 40k rules for them, and I want to add them to my Kroot army that is going to have everything except the tower in it.
Yeah.
So I want the Vespid for that, but I may well sell the jump pack guys. Get rid. I don't think they're going to be my bag.
Speaking of Spen and the Vespid, did you see his? I'm sure it's him.
Warcom.
On Warcom, yeah.
The Wasps.
The Wasps. They were brilliant.
They were really
I love
good,
that.
weren't they?
Yeah, really good.
Great little painter, Spen. And and a nice guy to boot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think I'll probably play the Kroot.
Yeah.
Because I've been spending a lot of time on them. So yes.
Oh, the Eldar Striking Scorpions.
Yeah, they're a legitimate team.
They sound like they're easier to. They look like they're easier to paint as well. I actually did this the other day. I was like, I want to paint something. I really want to paint, and I was getting like thinking I've got a lot of models I could paint, but nothing was grabbing me. And that's when I ended up doing my Votann. I was like, I'm finally going to do this. That's what I settled on. But I do what I always do. I'm going to look for inspiration. So I went all the way through some stuff, and I was looking through Cult of Paints videos, as I like to do, because they're the ones that you say you've got that super. Your useless superpower is that you think you can do that.
Yeah.
And I started getting a bit
my
of
toxic
that.
trait.
That's
yeah.
it, toxic trait.
Yeah.
And I started to get a bit of that. Like I look at Marco's videos, the same. Like they're very similar approaches, like airbrush, lots of use of colour. And I started just scrolling through Cult of Paints videos, going, what have I got that I could apply these themes to? And I got to Andy's. I think it was one of the Eldar videos. It might be Striking Scorpions.
I think it was Andy doing Striking Scorpions.
And then I clicked onto it, and I'm like, oh right, they look nice and approachable. And I clicked on, and it wasn't a Henry video, it was an Andy video. And the thing is, like, Henry's got a very good approach to like the army painting, is a really good, and then Andy is a multiple time golden demon painter.
Yeah.
But again, I still got roped into that very Court of Paint approach of like Andy's softly spoken and goes through and breaks it down very smart. And I was like, I could do this. And then I went and I found my Striking Scorpion. And the thing I forgot through watching that video to picking one up is how bloody small those details are. And of course, Andy's just going like this, like one smooth motion. And I'm like, can't even touch the gems. Forget it. Forget it. Like, I know, brace your elbows. And I'm like, I don't want to be stressing and doing this. And then I cracked out some of the P3 paints again. And they are nice to.
I think the way to do it is you brace your elbows.
Just blend.
You brace your elbows, and then what you do is you reach forwards and then you pick up Richard Gray's hands.
Yes.
Just hold Richard Gray's hands in place in front of your model.
I might do that. That might be a video. I don't think Richard Gray would be up for it.
No,
but I
I
might
don't
do a
think he
video where it's like how to paint like Richard Gray. Because I wanted to do that. I wanted to do a couple of videos that's like how to paint this person and have this person show me, and me being the dumb guy and learning. But like a scene where from Ghost, you've got your arms wrapped around Richard Gray and he's painting. Sorry, Richard. See you in a week.
It's funny you say that because I bring up. I've never seen the film, but everybody knows the scene.
What, from Ghost?
From Ghost. Yeah.
Like
the Potter's Wheel.
If you're of a certain age, you kind of know it. Yeah. And if ever I'm filming or photographing groom prep, quite often, regular occurrence, nobody knows how to do a tie. Because it's kind of like, when was the last time you wore one?
Yeah.
And I can do a schoolboy tie, but I don't know how to do like a double Windsor or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
I pride myself on a good tie.
Wait, hang on. So I'll let you finish the story. I'm going to steal your punchline. Go on.
No, so people are always doing that thing. And so everybody's helping each other. Usually there's one person, so Jeff in this group would be like, okay, I'll do it.
Double Windsors.
And then I'm there with the camera just being like, oh, you remember that scene from Ghost?
I thought you were going to say, like, people struggle and you're the only one because you do it so often knows how to do it, that you've gone round ghosting people and going, oh, come here and I'll do it for you. I mean, already you're filming
That's
people's
the
nuptials,
only hard bit about when I do people's double Windsors, I have to put the tie on. I can't do it on them. And then I have to look at how tall they are compared to me, because you basically want the end of the you basically really with a tie to be correct is you basically want the point at the end of the tie to be just touching the buckle of your belt.
Yeah.
And also don't forget the leather of your belt should match the leather of your shoes.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it should just touch. And
Yeah.
so, but then, when you're 6'2", and then if I was like doing Pat's tie, I'd have to go, you know what I mean? If I then put, it goes, well, it touches the buckle of my belt, and it's like flapping over his crotch.
I'd be able to like loop mine round into some kind of Borat Mankini kind of thing.
So you have to sort of look at the size of them.
You're right though, like, because I'm pretty sure you couldn't do that even if you're doing a pot as well. Because I'm pretty sure when Demi Moore comes in to help, fucking ruins it. Or does he come in to help Demi Moore?
Yeah,
and he
Patrick
knackers it.
Swayze's dead, right?
Yeah.
Not at that point. You haven't seen it.
I thought he was.
He was dead at the
He was
point
dead because he's a ghost.
No, he does one when he's alive, doesn't he? But does he then come back and then ruin it when
touches
she's
her
dead?
hands? No, he doesn't really like. She just lets it.
So she's like that, and he goes, "Wah!"
Yeah.
Oh my word!
But I like the idea that once she's a ghost, she's just got about 27 failed jugs that now don't work.
Yeah. She's.
Do you know an interesting, pointless but interesting little anecdote about? Well, not anecdote, a little fact about the double Windsor knot, because it's quite a wide but extraordinarily triangular knot.
This better be interesting.
I like it, and it works really well with a cut back collar because it fills the gap really well. Is that when how that came about was from the king, I can't remember which king, but from like 1930s, started having this tie with this really triangular large knot. And because we looked back then, because we didn't really have rock stars, we looked a lot of the time for our fashion from what the royals were doing in the UK. And men spent ages figuring out how he'd had this knot done of this double Windsor, which is where you go round both sides and then go round over the top. And eventually it got back to him in a conversation, in an interview, and someone said, your knot in your tie is really took off with the men of Great Britain. And he said, with this special knot, and he said, my tie isn't a special knot. He said, it's a standard one. He said, that my tailor makes my tie lined.
Oh.
So it just has the tie line. So it's the tie was quite
thicker.
So when it was made with a single, it gave that shape because it's the...
Right. So the double Windsor is poor people with normal ties trying to create
trying to solve a problem that wasn't. A solution to something that was... Yeah.
My interesting fact of the week is I went bed shopping yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And I was fine. Like we didn't buy a bed, but we
did you buy one on a? Did you do them now on a double Windsor size?
You do they? So, but yeah, the older we get, the bigger bed size we want because we're just getting further away from each other. But it's when you get to buying sheets. So yesterday, you might know this because you're quite switched on to stuff like this. But I had to go and learn. Oh, good, you don't. Like
thread count?
Yeah, no, right. So it goes. That's just the surface, mate. So I got home. There you go.
Can I just point out he yawned when I was talking about Space Marines, and that was part of the show.
I think I died and got resurrected during that.
Yeah, you can do. This right. So you've had 5 minutes, if that.
He died, was resurrected, and wished for death again.
That was my entire Sunday evening having to learn that.
Fair.
And I still don't know what sheets are.
Time well spent.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get like one of each and then make a decision. Yeah.
I think you need to start yourself a bed and YouTube channel.
No, I can't do it. There was already fantastic ones out there. There's one out there, right? And this is where, and I got through to this, and I'm like, it's a 3-person team. They have 1.26 thousand followers, and the videos are getting 200 to 300 views.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How the hell is that sustainable?
Well, they won't be doing it full time, right?
They're not.
The rest of the time they work at Dunelm Mill.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And I'm like,
loads of affiliate sales.
I bet you're glad they exist, though.
Here's our honest. Yeah, I am, but I can't trust them because I look at stuff like that now, and I'm like, okay, where's your money coming from? Because your money is not coming from views, And it certainly isn't. When their videos are getting 700 and 800 to up to like 4,000 views, you are not making enough money on affiliate marketing. Who is paying for you to run this as an entity just to exist to say that this particular one brand is best? That's where my pessimistic mind goes to.
The bedding mafia.
What I really want to do is start not even a YouTube channel. Well, I guess it would be on YouTube, but just do shorts where I just review like under £5 bottles of wine.
Brilliant. Yes,
yeah.
do
No,
it.
I'd like to do a series of
And then maybe celebrity wines as well.
a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The way you just only release shorts, reviewing shorts. They're 2 inches above the knee. The fit's nice. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
They've got the netty hammock in it for me testicles. All's good. 3 pockets. Shorts reviews.
Has it got 3 pockets, or would you rate it out of pockets? Like 5?
Oh, it's 5
yeah.
pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of
maybe
5
maybe it might
pockets.
get too confusing. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. No.
See, I put quite a lot of thought into my wine idea. I think for my birthday, my sister's going to come up. We're going to film one and just get hammered.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well, just go
like
through
fun.
different bottles of wine.
Yeah, yeah. But like you rank them and you be like, right, how good? But like, say, you take the snobbery away from wine, essentially.
Yeah.
Because I love wine. And like I've been to like one wine tasting, and I thought it was technically I've been to 2 because I went to one at the Edinburgh Fringe,
Right.
and it was like a comedy wine tasting thing, which was a bit bizarre, but the wine was good. So you like review the label,
Right.
You'd be like how because
How
loads
good-
of
yeah,
loads
yeah.
of loads of you go in and you go, what label looks good? Like you told me there was one,
You're
White
right.
pointer.
yeah, with a shark or
Oh,
something.
it's the best label ever for
Yeah.
label ever for wine.
That's it. And-
Toro Loco. I got into drinking that because it's crazy bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. How like wanky the tasting notes are.
Right.
Like give it on a scale of 1 to wank. Just like just like oh, you can taste the forest floor and it has a really long finish, and you're like, fuck off.
Take the snobbery out. Yeah.
yeah.
Go on. Yeah. Well, take the snobbery out and replace it with irrelevant snobbery.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like reverse snobbery.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, yeah, because it all comes back to the class system, obviously. Yeah. And then like we have like me and my sister and
I like the idea though. The take the snobbery. I was like, it has real hints of shopping centre elevator.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's it. But like you can, get some very drinkable bottles of wine for under £5.
Oh, easily.
Like Aldi and Lidl are great. I think the worst wine you can get for under £5 all comes from Sainsbury's. It's terrible.
Yeah, Sainsbury's is incredibly like I've bought wines from Sainsbury's. I'm not joking. There are 2, and I'm probably pronouncing one of them wrong. Both from Lidl, I believe, or it might be Aldi. It's one of them. There's Montepulciano, which the 2018 is what I was drinking, and it's not. It's not as nice as it was, or my palate's changed. But that, I
Terribly
think, was like £3.50 a bottle. Fantastic. It's a lovely red. I don't know whether it's a Merlot, Shiraz.
No, well, I
Chianti,
think
any
when
of
it's that
those.
cheap, you go, what grape is it? And the wine goes, yes.
Yeah, but that's fantastic. And Toro Loco, which I think is in a few places now and has gone a bit more mainstream. Fantastic wine. I love it. Love the flavour. Excellent notes. Is that a thing in wine?
You get tasting notes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean. Like, I know nothing about wine. I just sometimes I drink some.
Just like swirl it around and go, ooh, look at the tannins.
Yeah, I've heard of tannins.
Yeah, fine.
That's the guy from
See,
Back
that
to the
was lost to me
Future.
because it just gives me terrible headache.
Yeah. But like essentially tannins
Straight
is,
away.
mouthfeel.
Yeah, also
Like a chemical that like coats your mouth.
also
so it makes
the bully
it feel
from Back to the Future.
slightly
Yeah,
furry.
absolutely right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Biff tannin.
Biff Tannings.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So we've
So do
talked
that.
about Warhammer about as much as GW have talked about upcoming 40k releases.
Don't be. Stop being negative.
So who can, well, I'm just drawing a comparison.
No, we've not. We've
Yeah.
talked
Oh,
Yeah,
Spiel.
Kill
yes, we
Team,
have.
Where we're
Yeah.
doing a kill team.
Yeah.
Angry lift attendant. We've
Yeah.
we've done.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
covered some.
And the last thing.
God, you're so negative, Pat.
I am. I'm a negative Nelly at the moment. There's a Warhammer 40k fan film that I think it got released a few days ago, and it already has over 500,000 views. I think it's probably coming up to 1 million.
Oh,
What's
is
it
this
called?
not a Warhammer
And it's
Plus
called The Awakening.
okay.
Go on and give that a
So
look.
a bunch of Dark Angels wander into a Necron tomb.
Didn't they? This isn't a Warhammer thing, because wasn't there the big argument before Warhammer Plus where like they were going after fan things?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they kind of generally ended up hiring people that made fan films to make content
okay.
for Warhammer Plus.
So what people do now is they make a fan film and hope it gets them employed.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, potentially in a way. And it's for for a fan film, exceptional.
Okay.
Really, 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 really good. So
I think
definitely
there was a
recommend that you
terms
watch
and
it. It's 50 minutes long.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I remember him right, I think it was a terms and conditions change about the creation of fan films, and everyone went ape shit over that. But
because
nothing
the
was ordered out of it.
issue with the Starties was he had a Patreon and he was making money from it.
Oh, okay.
So there was like a tenuous link could be drawn. He'd be like, "Hey, I have a Patreon. Would you like to fund the creation of this thing?"
Yeah, it's like one step closer than Kofi or
whatever it is. But yeah, this is really good. My only gripe with it is the main voice actor is obviously American, and I'm so used to from the audiobooks. I'm so used to it's my own fault. Like I'm so used to the British accents. Having an American space marine go Thunderhawk it just pulls me out of it a little bit. But it's great. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So
I'll try that.
Definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Right. And I think that might be it.
I got nothing.
I'm done.
Stick a fork in you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Spiel, kill team, Lego, painting.
Yeah.
That was pretty much
Talked
it.
about
Wasn't it?
audiobooks a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, audiobooks.
And some orcs.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant.
See you guys next time. Next time we'll talk about Space Marine or our feelings behind Space Marine VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we discuss off camera, we might have Surge next week.
Oh, we may do.
yeah,
Our
we
blue
might.
head friend.
So
He
maybe
did say
it'll be
yesterday he's staying more days. So yeah, we've got
How
a
to
special guest
run
next week.
a
Hobby shop.
hobby shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Potential. Something like that. Might be interesting.
And have blue hair.
Yeah. Because it stays in longer. Thank you, patrons. You're
Cheers,
wonderful.
guys.
And
Thank you very much. You are wonderful.
rambles. Bye.
Bye.